Okay,
We got it back.
we should.
We're live.
I don't know. We're about a minute delay. We're on a minute delay, so it's hard to say.
That first 6 minutes was just practice.
First
Just
6 minutes.
practice.
Yeah, we were actually not even speaking. We were just.
We were miming.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
we
it's
were
back
prepping
now.
our voice.
Oh, there we
We're
go. We
prepping
got
our
it.
voice.
I think we got. Yeah, we got volume. All right, we're good now. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. El Migi, as usual.
Yo, it's LW. I'm just neutral.
Yeah. At this point, he's neutral. He's got so many L's and W's to kind of
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what we're talking about is.
So this is episode 54.
Yeah. Welcome back,
Welcome
Felix.
back.
How you been?
I'm Felix.
We were practicing y'all's lip reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if you guys understood anything. Testing your skills.
Yeah. So definitely Saturday was a great time.
Any
We're
quick
having some-
update. We all went out on Saturday, bunch of couples, and then 2 non-couples. Mauricio and I had a great time. Nobody was
With your
fighting.
bromance?
Everybody was having fun.
Peanut butter and
Peanut
jelly,
butter
bro.
and jelly, bro.
What?
Peanut butter and
The
jelly.
question is, who's
That's what he
peanut butter?
calls me.
You're,
Huh?
you're peanut butter or you're jelly, bro?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Ah, shit.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun. Shout out to you guys that came out on Saturday. Everybody was super respectful. We had a bunch of drinks, had fun, smiles, laughs. I haven't had a good time like that in a while. So thanks for coming.
It just sounds like he drank a lot.
Who, Jay?
Yeah, it sounds like he drank a lot of alcohol, and he's nodding to me. Yes, I know.
No,
he's
I didn't
lying.
drink a
What
lot. I
Jay
drank
doesn't
more than
recognize, bro.
usual.
We went to this restaurant. It's called the Lure, right? And we get this server. There was the person that was getting us drinks and everything there. It was like kind of like a 21, 22-year-old.
Yeah, not more.
Asian, girl. And then
So your girl says he's jelly. Why am I jelly?
So we were there, right? And this is the server that we get is like kind of Asian, whatever. You know what the problem with Asians is, bro.
I don't know if I want to know.
No. In a blink of an eye, So we went to the other place because we went to like dance and stuff, to this place called I don't know. It used to be
Old
used to-
ceviche.
Old
Yeah, it
ceviche.
was the old
Old
ceviche.
ceviche. I don't know what it's called now.
So we were there, and all of a sudden we see like, bro, like Jay, this is the same girl, because all the Asians they look alike. So, and I was like, Jay,
Tú lo que
this-
no te fijaste.
this girl is right here for you, bro. Jay, go ahead, attack. And I was like really hoping Jay to hook up with that little Asian girl.
What's up, guys? How y'all?
Hello.
Yeah. So, by the way, guys, new update. We got a couch. At comfortable as hell. I'm missing a back pillow though.
Hey, Jay's asking for too much now.
But
Next party's gonna have a whole body pillow.
He's
yeah,
gonna be hugging it.
go to sleep. But yeah, so
Yeah, he lied to me. He told me he was gonna go to jujitsu.
I thought that too, but then I
Wow.
forgot
Jay
completely.
getting pampered.
You didn't
Oh.
forget. I asked you. What about the construction? You said I'll go in the morning and then I'll go work on mom's house.
Yeah, that's what I said. But then Arthur came early in the morning, so I was like, all right, I guess we're working. And I'm glad we did work because we got shit ton done, a lot done. And it's like I can see the end at this point. We're near to only cosmetic stuff. Like it's almost the cosmetic stuff left, like just modding the walls and then putting the fixtures in, lights and things like that.
So Jay, just being realistic, how much is gonna take you guys to finish that?
To finish this,
Yes.
so it's been 2 weeks now, including the floor and taking into account that Arthur's gonna be out for a week on vacation. So this weekend is kind of gonna be like scratched. I say maybe another 2 to 3 weeks. Another 2 to 3 weeks, and that's depending how much we're gonna get done tomorrow.
2 or 3 weeks, so not bad, bro.
No, not bad. For
I was
removing the
told,
walls
I
and
was
bracing.
told I was told like 2 months, so this is why I'm.
No, it can't be 2 months. I'm going on vacation. Like that shit's gotta get done before I go. You know what I mean?
Oh shit. So what do you guys have left still? What you guys do this weekend?
So, by the way, before I go into it, I bought a new tool. And this tool is probably one of the best
I
tools I've
heard you
ever
bought
had.
something for a drywall, which means it was probably a waste of money. If I'm honest with you.
Drywall.
You said it was a new drywall tool.
So there are two tools that I bought. Yes, one of them is a. It's not necessarily for drywall. It was the intent of it was to use it for a drywall. It's a cutoff tool. It's a 3-inch wheel cutoff tool, but that tool pretty much can cut anything: rebar, drywall, whatever you want. Just change the wheel and then you can cut it off, right? But it's not as strong as an angle grinder where you don't have control. You know what I mean? So this is a little more stable because it's not as powerful. So it's not, when you add the centripetal force, it starts twisting. So
It's
this
like
one,
a cordless angle grinder.
it's a cordless angle grinder, but it's not necessarily an angle grinder. It's the way it's set up. It looks like an angle grinder, but it's not. So that's a good tool. But the best tool that I got is this handheld. It's called a palm hammer. It's a pneumatic hammer that gets hooked up to the air compressor. Has a magnet. You put the nail in and you just attach it to the wood and you push in and it goes and just nails. I'm talking about 3-inch nails like butter.
That's awesome.
Pulls them in, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best tools I've ever bought or used in my life.
You were using nails for the drywall?
Mimicking.
No. We're using the nails for braces. So the way that wall was sitting, the half wall, it was not a load bearing wall. It was just supporting the ceiling. It was just holding the ceiling. In order for it not to be too heavy, we had to get braces and put pieces of wood that connect to the rafters up top.
Yeah,
so
to hold the ceiling in.
to hold the ceiling in place. So for that, we had to drive nails for the braces to keep all that together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that
How much of the wall you guys took out? How many feet?
all of it,
What do you mean all of it?
all of the wall is gone.
Not all of it, because you still have the door and all that stuff that breaks the kitchen to the living room in the back.
No.
That part's
So
there.
all the way until
So
that
the-
glass door.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
How
all
many
of that.
feet was that?
Of the wall itself. I want to say 8 feet.
Okay, that's a decent amount, yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
all that entire wall was gone. That half wall is completely gone. I'll
Hey,
throw-
you guys seen
Here,
some
how about
more
I put
stuff? Yeah, you can put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Some more stuff coming up about Elon and Mark. So John Jones said he'll train Mark and
Bro,
Really?
who hasn't told that
G-
he'll train them?
GSP said he wants to train Elon.
So everyone and their mother said they're gonna train. Even Andrew Tate said he's gonna train Musk. So what's his name? Masvidal said he would train him. Like bunch of people came out and said that they would train Musk.
I saw
It's in the
Mark was
Discord.
training with who was it? I don't know. I saw him doing some MMA
Musemichi.
training with someone. I saw he was training. I
Musemichi.
posted that in the chat that he was training with Mikey. And I saw a video the other day of one of his.
I mean, I've never
roles.
seen Elon like training and stuff.
I've never seen any.
He
videos.
never has, although he said that he has done.
We know that Mark has been like training. He's been competing. He has like a personal trainer, like legit black belt. Been training.
He's
with-
actually interested in the sport comparative to Musk too.
Yeah. So
See, that wall is completed. You see the
Yeah.
braces? That's what I was talking about. See those braces?
Got you.
Yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of this is like all the stuff that's the after demolition structural, not putting it back together. So I think the cabinets might take a bit longer to make sure that they're aligned and everything, but once that's in, it's pretty much done, and then just paint.
Cabinets. Full
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, so that just paint and then mud the drywalls, sand them down, make it all even, that it's just cosmetic at this point.
Yeah.
And the
Time
light
to start-
fixtures and things
No
like
more
that.
ripping out. Time to start installing.
Yes. No more ripping out. At this point, it's putting it back together.
Yeah. That's good.
The
So
only
you
thing
guys
that's
already
left to
mud it all
rip
over
out is
there?
that glass door. That's the only thing that's going to come out.
Oh, you taking out the door? It's gonna
Yeah.
have an opening.
Open. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, all open. And then, obviously, the only other thing that's left to rip out, if you go down, that old school flooring, it's going to be bare just like
This?
that area. Yeah, that's going to be gone. Yeah, that's going to be gone. So, and but that's easy because they use those old school, they're not linoleum, but they're not tile either. They're like glued down hard pieces of tile, I guess.
It's like
or
linoleum.
It's like linoleum, yeah, but that's super easy. Comes off right away, once you hit it.
I keep seeing them put Elon's face on top of McGregor when McGregor's walking around with his chest popped out like a fucking.
This is the picture that the wolf like posted today. Like,
the rooster.
You see like this too, like.
Apparently they're talking about I think it's bullshit because it's Chael Sonnen saying it, but talking about he was one of them. Elon or Mark said that they're ready to do it for UFC 300 for next year, which is gonna be I think the first.
I don't know. I know Dana came out and said that would be amazing if you could put that as a bunch of money to charity, because probably that's what's gonna happen. The money is gonna go to charity.
Listen, you guys. That's not gonna happen.
If it happens, Dana is gonna literally probably double his entire fucking net.
I don't know, man. I can't. I don't want to say it's not gonna happen because I've said that about a few of these celebrity fights, and they end up coming to fruition. So.
And still, and if it's happening, I don't see it happening in UFC. Probably a minor grappling match, perhaps. Something lighter. These guys are not gonna
But think about
shit up.
They have the clout to hit UFC. They got the money to pay into a promotion.
I think what he's saying
I
is
could see it doing.
He doesn't think they would actually want to take the full risk of doing an actual cage match and the injuries that come with that.
Yeah, bro.
I could see that.
Now, think about it this way. What does this whole thing resemble to you?
It reminds me of the first our first celeb boxing fight, which was
No.
McGregor
Go even further in history. What does that resemble
Mayweather
to
and
you?
Conor, yeah.
Go even further in history. What does it resemble to you?
WWE.
Nope, even further in history. Go even further in history.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Bro, the Greek times in Colosseum.
Really?
Think about it. It's the Greek times in Colosseum. Because back in the day, Greece would organize these fights, right? Call it cage fights, which we're organizing right now. And everyone would come in and watch these.
Yeah.
And then what happened to Greece shortly after? It fell.
Yeah.
That's a reach there,
Yeah.
and I'm missing a lot of history.
Listen, whatever.
That's a far one.
I'm gonna Alex Jones this one, all right?
I don't know what Jay's having, but I definitely want one of those.
No. That second part was obviously a joke, but yeah, I think it's like the modern day Coliseum. That's what UFC is, because people want to see this. People want to see this carnage. They want to see Zuckerberg and Elon go at it, smash each other's face. People want to see this.
At this point, I'm all for Zuckerberg.
Why?
I think he can do it.
Nah, I want Elon to win.
Why?
I think
He outweighs.
I think
I know
Elon.
he weighs.
I think
like
Elon
50
has been
pounds.
more. I don't know.
I think Elon is more based. That's why.
I think Elon has been more.
And he's not a lizard.
More cocky, more arrogant, kind of like thinks he knows everything.
Definitely.
So Zuckerberg has always been, although this guy, everybody everybody thinks he's an alien.
He's not
out of this
outspoken.
world.
He's not outspoken whatsoever, right?
No.
He just,
Well, that's purposely. He has a team like DeSantis that knows he's unlikable, so they try to use
Limit
his
his,
public
yeah.
appearance very limitedly. Yeah.
I mean, you saw him drinking that water in front of the Congress. All of us saw that.
yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I do want Elon to win.
I'm going for Zuckerberg.
Just because Zuckerberg is canceling everyone on Meta for no apparent reason.
Listen,
That is funny though that you look at that background, the way that
I want Zuckerberg to win because I'm fully invested into Meta.
Hey,
I'm
they'll be selling special
I'm down
VR
by
tickets to that
I'm
match.
down by a lot, so I need something miraculous.
No. So I've heard different. Now again, this is not prognosis, nor it is a suggestion to anyone. But I've heard that a lot of people were saying. Remember, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Meta's gonna go down. Meta's dead." Blah blah blah. Came back.
Going up, not back at where it used to be, but it's there.
It's going back up. So. I think what happened, everybody was very invested into that whole virtual reality thing, and when he kind of came back and said, "I'm not gonna do that anymore," everyone started selling the share, and I think it was just a snowball effect. It's still gonna go
it's a
back up.
factor of combinations,
He's still gonna do that though, no?
It was a factor of combination factor, whatever you want to call it. Last year, the market performed bad. It was like S&P 500 went down like what 30% like average last year, 25.
You talk no during COVID.
I don't mean last year per se. Like the year started right. That was last year. The year started.
No, year before that.
No, it was that last year. That was the year that because I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'm the one.
He's like, I lost
I'm the
some
one
shit.
who
Jay, I have breaking news.
So last year in January, then the year started right. So and the estimated earnings were like higher than expected. This guy changing the name to Meta, fully the metaverse, whatever. Earnings went like way lower, so the stocks started dropping down.
Plummeting, yeah.
Then the Ukraine shit happened with Russia. It was like a combination there. Bam, bam, bam. So ever since and after that, all the tech stocks were down. But clearly the first quarter for Meta was like devastating, and then after that came the entire situation. So I think Meta was like around 350 per stock last year, and it went down to like 130. It was like $200 down per stock, bro.
Yeah.
So I have some quick breaking news.
What is it?
Elon Musk has begun training with Lex Friedman, and he's looking good. He's
Elon?
got good form.
I saw Mark was training with Lex as well.
Yeah, he's got good form.
Lex Friedman, huh?
I saw Mark Zuckerberg
He
rolling with
said,
Lex.
I did
today.
an impromptu training session with Elon Musk for. I'm actually gonna read it in Lex Friedman voice. I did an impromptu training session with Elon Musk for a few hours yesterday. I'm extremely impressed with his strength, power, and skill on the feet and on the ground.
Power.
It was epic. It's really inspiring
Skilled
to
last.
see Elon and Mark doing martial arts, but I think the world is far better if they train martial arts but not fight in the cage. That said, as Elon says, the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. I'm there for them, no matter what.
That was a really good Lex Friedman voice, too. On
Yeah,
point.
shit.
How much you think that impromptu fucking training cost Musk?
I'd probably back pocket change for them.
He don't give a fuck.
Well, obviously.
I think with Lex Friedman, I think Lex is.
They're such good buddies.
They could have worked out a deal where Elon would show up onto Lex's pod, and instead he'll train him. So I think this could have been a like a tit for tat type of deal.
Yeah.
For
makes
Lex
sense.
Friedman. I think so.
Shit. But I saw Lex was with Mark too, so he's got the insider. Whoever
He's
when
got his hands
when
in
Lex
Tyson's
makes his
pocket.
bet, I'm going with that guy.
Well, Lex said he didn't want them to fight. He just wants them to enjoy the sport.
He also quoted Elon. The most entertaining outcome will probably be the one. So we already know what's going down then. Yo, that's funny as fuck. They're actually entertaining this more and more and more every day. It's coming to fruition. I'm telling you. I think
why not?
All right, guys.
They both have dying social media platforms. All this is bringing more people to their fucking platforms.
Well,
Oh, you
when you
think it's
say
all
dying
planned?
social media platforms, who do you think is the next social media platform?
That's kind of what I was thinking too, honestly.
Yeah, who took that?
Who's the next?
So
If anything, I think with Twitter, him buying Twitter back, Twitter has been gaining a little more traction.
MySpace is not coming.
it's not.
Tumblr is.
MySpace isn't no.
Vine is dead.
What about? I mean, you're looking at TikTok. TikTok isn't still.
TikTok has been booming.
TikTok is also dying
The
right
CEO
now.
just
No, but like,
quit.
TikTok is actually
Really?
actually on the rise. Now they started, like selling stuff online, like Amazon stuff, So
Yes.
they're trying to like diversify a little bit,
The reason they're doing that is because they're catching on that they've capped on what they have.
Well, yeah.
So they're trying to make more money different ways now.
But that's the thing, like if you like the moment you understand your cap, this is when you need to like, okay, like I'm here, like what's the next step? So
But see, the thing is,
Move on, yeah.
but with these social media platforms, this is the issue. TikTok came in and like, so if you look at progression in the company's progression, because technically
Justin's
it's
just
supposed to
jelly,
be
I
still
like
in
the
a
word.
young company stage, which means
like
still
I said.
climbing, right? But what they're saying by them doing that, to me, it's saying that they're already reaching a peak, right? So this is going to determine whether they're going to continue going up or it's going to flatten out and now they're in a
The thing
mature
is that
stage
the-
in a very short time.
the peak is always gonna be relative, Why?
Yeah.
you're going up, and it's like, oh, I'm up, like I
Yeah,
reach
yeah.
a certain peak on that career. So this is when, like, true, leaders in a company, CEOs and stuff like that, they need to come up with stuff to go ahead and continue the curve up, because like obviously you're gonna get into a position of like matureness
No, I know
in a
what you're saying.
company on which if you don't do anything, it's just gonna be slacking there, and eventually will go down. So what you do in that point, because all startups like at that point, oh yeah, like I got 5,000, like new followers now, 10,000, like a million, like when you get to a certain cap, like okay, there's no more, like fuck it, there's always gonna be more.
No, I
The real question is how to bring these more like people more attention.
that's
more
gonna depend on the next CEO because the CEO of TikTok, they just quit. She just quit. So
I mean, all this is also the currency is user data, right? We need user created content, so the people that are actually on the platform creating content for the platform to bring in people to take their data from. And that's what I mean by they're dying. Because Twitter has hit a huge time low with original created content from Twitter. It's mostly retweets or shares. Facebook's the same way, and TikTok is starting
Yeah.
to get there,
like
but they've monetized a lot.
yeah, like Facebook has been, I mean, the new generation is not using Facebook. So Facebook has been.
No.
What happened to
You get
Facebook?
called old.
Yeah,
again,
what happened to
Facebook.
Facebook? When I started,
I'm
it was
old, I
like, oh
guess.
yeah, like I was like looking at all these hot girls and stuff like every day.
Well, Instagram
and all of
came
a
around.
sudden,
Instagram came around.
it came with me.
Felix, you're on the wrong platform for that. There
Yeah.
are many other websites.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. Like
Facebook is
seriously,
not the
I was like, I mean, and I'm talking about like I don't know, like 20 years ago. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
funny part.
No, no, no.
The hub was
In
It
still
sounds
around.
old,
2000
but
The
and
hub was still
it's like
around.
that.
The hub was
So it was
still
like 20
around,
years
though.
ago.
No, no.
Right?
In
So I was like-
2005, 2004, 2008,
Yeah, so
that's when
I
Facebook
was-
was popular.
I was enjoying everything that was happening, but
no,
that
no,
generation,
no.
that
9, 10,
generation,
11.
9,
that-
10, 11, sure.
that generation grew
Wait,
up.
when do you say?
So that generation grew up with me, right? So all I see in my Facebook now, it's all like, oh yeah, my friend Eddie got married. Oh my, this is Jay having kids, and because they're all like,
Not this Jay.
Yo,
they're pretty much
not
my,
this Eddie.
pretty much my age. So
Yeah,
I
why are
don't
you
see
trying to
like
trap
younger
us,
generation.
Jay?
And then like a lot of people are still using Facebook as because this is when like people like Mark Zuckerberg started. They were hitting this certain platform, not growing at a mature state. This is like declining, no new users. Oh, let's start. I don't know, like Messenger, for instance.
Well,
like
no,
mimicking
he
everything else.
bought WhatsApp, and,
again,
then
like,
he bought
the
Instagram.
And they were like, okay, like a lot of companies were like doing their web pages and selling stuff there and making public everything they did there. It was not working. It was clearly they were monetizing it, whatever. But what actually has saved Facebook, you believe it or not, is the marketplace, bro. That shit was like insane. People actually buying, at a marketplace because it made it like friendly, like all your people around you, posting stuff there. So
gave
it
you-
made it a platform,
and it gave you
like
an
differently for
instant
you to
way.
like buy stuff.
It was easy for you
replaced
to-
OfferUp, basically.
and
That's what it
OfferUp
did.
and
It replaced
Craigslist
OfferUp and Craigslist.
But-
It gave them an easier way
yeah.
to make sure that this person wasn't some serial killer or someone crazy because okay, let me go look at their profile and you see they're a normal person with a family, da 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 da. And if it makes me a little more secure to go and trade stuff. I thought it was
Right.
weird, right? I've bought stuff on Marketplace, right? When I was first doing like my computer builds, and I was buying monitors, and I had bought a couple and sold a couple. I found it so weird that like females were like okay with just meeting up with me on my own. Like
But that
and-
FBI,
and
that
they didn't
FBI
care.
works really well, bro. They've already done snooped everything on your Facebook about you.
Yeah, they go and they make sure you're a normal person, and then they feel okay with meeting you up by themselves.
And-
On Craigslist, you really wouldn't
Women
see that.
have their own bureau.
And Facebook,
They do.
Facebook was always, it was a platform for you to like put a lot of information, like for people like to read and stuff like that. It was more, it was more letters. Instagram was always more visual. It was like,
And what do we know now?
It was,
That Instagram was the one. Because people don't give a shit about reading. People like to
Yeah,
watch
it was-
and see.
it was
Quick hits
just
of dopamine.
yeah, it was just
Reading ain't gonna give it to you.
It was just pictures and all that, and people like, okay, I want to go ahead and put a video. Well, like, I'm not gonna be sitting here like, watching, a 3-minute video. So start making it, quick, and then there are all these like reels coming in, getting in,
Yeah, but then now YouTube is into it.
With the shorts, they're getting
The
good.
shorts. I truly think. I think
who started that trend?
The reels,
the TikTok.
the reels, TikTok. Yeah,
Then it
TikTok.
went
But
to
now everyone
Reels.
is doing
Yeah.
it. So
Come on, let's be honest. Vine started it all.
Yeah, I was
That's
about to
true.
say.
Vine with
Yeah,
the
we got to
6
give it
second-
to Vine.
yeah.
Yeah, Vine with the 6
But
second
then
content. was
Vine,
it.
Vine, just like any
It
other
died.
company, died off.
Well,
But
it
see,
died
Vine was
before
ahead
TikTok
of its
came.
time.
Yeah.
Vine was ahead of its time. They knew what they were doing. They just came out in a time where that little bit of like video or whatever, pictures, like was just too much for cell towers and stuff. So it was costing parents so much just for them kids to watch Vine on cellular data.
But it's a matter of not adapting to new times and new reality. You know, the best example, and probably all the new generation, all you guys out there, probably like on your 20s, like, you know, I remember the story of BlackBerry, bro. I used to have a BlackBerry.
Dude, those things are so
I used to have
There was a
couple of-
movie that came out about it
Yeah,
here soon. That was really
I
good.
saw
I
it,
had a
and
BlackBerry as
that was
well.
my reality. Back in DR, I had everybody's using a BlackBerry now, so I had a BlackBerry.
Do you guys remember the ones that had the little keyboard? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
that's
switched?
all the
I
BlackBerry,
couldn't
yeah.
even get it to work there because there was like no carrier that actually had the we're offering to have that service of
Internet and everything.
internet and all that. So it was literally I was using it to like to hold the paper on my desk.
Paperweight.
And the same thing happened to the iPhone when it first started. But in reality, BlackBerry never adapted to new times. They were like, oh yeah, this is all like encrypted.
Same thing happened with Nokia.
Yeah, this is
Nokia.
all encrypted. We're gonna be here, and even when you Nokia is a good example. Like the CEO, there's like a famous video like out there saying like we did nothing wrong.
They're still making phones.
We did nothing wrong. The thing is
Yeah.
that like other people just did like everything better, and that's their reality, bro. That's their reality.
So, but the question here is, what's going to be the next platform? Right? The next social media platform.
I've always looked at Twitter as the one that has looked like it's been there for a while, keeps going pretty strong. A lot of famous people still use it, and it's still used as
Twitter
like a really
is the
big,
way to go out there if you want to say something catchy. To Twitter is the quick traction because you have only so many characters, so you have to really put that message together in a manner that's gonna grab attention. So I think Twitter is the most creative one out of all of them. Especially you have to be a wordsmith on Twitter in order to put in a tweet that's gonna grab ton of attention right away.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
Twitter's just everything that people saw from Reddit and shared. So like the real platform, like the real place you want to go is Reddit. It just doesn't. It's not user friendly, so people don't gravitate to it.
Yes.
But again, Moon, and this is
Now-
a question perhaps like for you, like what's gonna be the next move like for Twitter? What's actually gonna be different about it? For me, just being like just lingering on the same spot, and I do.
Well, it's not.
Oh yeah, we
It's
have
not.
a different thing now. Now you can actually buy your blue check mark, and yes, you gotta pay for that. Oh, that's our new novelty in the last like 5
Well,
years.
no.
Like,
That's
bro.
not it. I think with Twitter, what it is, Twitter is not canceling people in a quantities that Jack Dorsey was doing. So I think now Twitter is gonna attract people that were before not allowed to be on Twitter, and that's gonna bring their follower base as well to Twitter.
Which is funny because they still ban people all the time.
They do.
It's
They
still
do
still
ban.
a thing. It's regular process. It hasn't changed since.
But no, it has
Musk bought
changed.
it.
And it has changed. The
What-
percentage of the banning has changed. It's not as
Because
much.
There's been a
what's
mass
the name
exodus.
of Donald Trump's like platform after he was kicked out of Twitter?
Truth
Truth?
Social.
Truth Social.
Yes.
Have you
That
guys-
didn't pick up. I have an account with Truth Social.
Yeah?
That didn't pick up. No, I think the next social media platform that's gonna blow up is gonna be YouTube and
I believe
Rumble.
so, bro.
If Rumble doesn't get canceled, it's gonna be Rumble and YouTube. And why? Because long form content is gonna completely phase out all the cable companies. Because right now, I think the cable company base has gone down from 70 to about 45% within the
I
span
think-
of 20 years.
I think
Because more people are on the subscription services and YouTube than they are on like actual cable networks.
if you ask
That's
me,
just because they have to be,
if you ask
they have to
me,
fight against something.
if you ask
Yes.
me, I think that the platform that is here to stay and it will have more potential for growth, is OnlyFans.
Agreed. Agreed. They are literally putting like non-sexual like game shows. They're doing roast
Yeah.
of like comedians. They're gonna start putting on boxing matches, both female naked boxing matches and actual like productions.
Sign me
Like
up.
So
Sign me up. Yo, when's the next
that's gonna
event?
be so the stigma with that they're gonna have to overcome the stigma with OnlyFans name. I think that could happen if they rebrand the
I was going to
company.
say, it sounds like they're probably going to
They're
change
gonna
the
have to
name.
rebrand the company, and to get rid of stigma, it's gonna take some time. I can see how that can pick up, but remember, Patreon tried something like that. Patreon has the same thing where you can do whatever you want on Patreon. However, that didn't pick up. The reason
nah,
OnlyFans
Patreon's still hard. There's
Patreon is
still
going.
people with Patreons. Even big YouTubers still have
Yes,
Patreons.
yes, they do. They do because it's a way of making money, but it is not OnlyFans. OnlyFans base grew because of women going on there. That girl next door, the girl next door idea, right? That's going on there getting naked and pretending to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's why it picked up. Because no one is going on OnlyFans to pay for paid content. Well, I shouldn't say that. People are
I
going
mean-
there to get paid content as far as like getting better at doing something. Like if it's
People
like,
go to Pornhub to watch the new season of Rick and Morty, or there's a dude that'll like read you bedtime stories on there, like, and that's a free platform. So like they're only making like view revenue off that.
yeah, so I'm thinking YouTube has been doing it for a while, and now Rumble comes in and says, you know, great YouTube, you're doing whatever you're doing, but I'm gonna allow these people that you canceling. So Rumble is opening the doors out, but the problem with Rumble is, which is a very big problem, they can get, depending on how much content they're gonna allow on there, they can get canceled, and they can get canceled quickly.
I really don't see YouTube going away.
YouTube is
No.
not gonna go away.
No.
YouTube is not gonna go away. When the kids opening toys are making, you know, $20 million a year, that shit's not going away
I mean,
anywhere.
it's easy, you know, and again, like a lot of people, let's say, like you go into a club and a lot of people are like video, like VJs, you know, like with video jockey now, like that concept, and they were all like putting, you know, videos on YouTube and all that. So the portion of like the paid version is growing like fast. Like people are, you know, like this is actually something that is worth the while, like cutting all the ads and all this stuff,
Yes.
and just paying for it. These people are from what I hear, because I'm not, you know, being paid for that. You guys will be there.
I'm paying for it. I'm paying for the premium.
No, but I'm saying like
I have YouTube
getting
Premium, too.
paid, getting paid from like by YouTube and stuff, like for the content, like
Mhm.
people
Oh.
actually watching that. These people are rewarding their users and their followers and their subscribers.
Yeah, but
and,
see, there's a thing about getting paid on YouTube. So there's a way to get paid on YouTube per views, and then also the type of commercials they're running on your stream, right? That's how you get kind of paid on it, unless you have a very controversial type of content, which then advertisers don't want to be associated with you. So your pay on per views is going down. The only
Well,
way you're making
your videos will become demonetized, and so it'll demonetize a specific video, meaning anything that goes
Correct.
down in this, you won't make money on.
correct. And on top of that, if they do send in super chats, which means people can donate, right? The maximum is $500, $499. YouTube takes 30% of that. So there's an alternative platform that takes only 3% of that cut. So a lot of the YouTubers now started to switch to that alternative platform, getting their super chats through that platform, but then demonstrating that on YouTube. They're
You know,
overlaying on top.
So they made the requirements drop, right? They
Yes.
came into effect already. Like we were talking about the other day. Miguel had sent me the thing. Those blue bars have filled up a lot more now.
Yes,
due
they
to
are
that.
filled up a lot more.
We're halfway to through the watch hours, and a lot closer with the subscribers now due to this.
But then
Yes,
again,
yes.
it's still not gonna mean nothing. Like you're still gonna make pennies. Like no one cares about the subscriber base, right? Like they care about the watch hours. Nobody gives a shit. Now, if YouTube finds a way to monetize their shorts, game over.
They are making money off. You can make money off shorts.
No, not yet. You cannot make money off shorts
You
just
can.
yet. It can
They
give
just,
you the
it's
status.
just a very, very low amount.
It's yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like fully monetize the shorts
They're
because
already
you can't
working
add
on that.
ads onto shorts.
They
You
already
really
are
can't.
working on that. They've already even had like events inviting influencers and stuff like that. They're working on it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If
It's
they can
a-
monetize on
it's-
shorts, that's
it's-
game over.
It's Google that owns YouTube.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's
What
Yep.
I'm saying. Rumble is a good competitor to YouTube, and I think with them opening their doors up,
Google already knows that TikTok is gonna be going away, or not.
I don't think
they're
TikTok's
at
going
least
away.
gonna start phasing out. They already started getting banned in certain states. They already had controversy with them being a Chinese company.
What TikTok?
Mhm.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, TikTok
I
was
see.
banned in certain states because it entices people to vote, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, no, TikTok is not gonna go away because I watched the questioning of the CEO of TikTok, and they're asking these questions. The guy's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We're not doing any of this stuff. But no, you are doing it. No, we're not doing that. And unless they come out and truly prove that that's what's happening, I think that was just more of a like we don't like TikTok because it's a Chinese company. I think that's what it was more than anything. But I don't think TikTok is going away.
Because that's what they told you
But I think
What's
it's,
with xenophobia.
but I think it's
Biggie.
Well, no. I
Take
think
away
that's just
Bruno
in
and
general.
something
People
up
wanted to ban Chinese company because apparently they're spying and they're collecting data, which every single social media platform is doing that. So
But the Republican Party gives billions of dollars to Chinese companies to build things in their country.
well, yeah,
Really?
obviously. No, obviously. Like, I
But
mean,
you think the one thing that's been attributed to multiple events of like either mass protest or
No,
mass showing out to elections that's only being banned in red states, you think it's just
social
because it's a
media
Chinese
platform is
company?
doing that. Yeah, I mean, no, it's obviously it's obviously it's obviously a ploy, right? Like, I mean, just to me, this is crazy because this data is getting taken away and things like that. No matter what, it's just a ploy. Has the stream stopped? What's going on?
No, you're good. I'm just doing
Oh, we're
something.
good?
Do you?
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah,
I'm
so
trying to figure
I
something out.
think with TikTok, it's gonna stay here once they get a little more transparency, which I think they have, unless they completely go berserk It's and obviously cancel it for no reason. You know what I mean?
So do you think there's a possibility of one of these like big huge companies like Google, Meta, perhaps like buying TikTok?
A lot of them have made offers for it.
Yeah.
I know Facebook made like over $1 billion offer for it.
Cause,
Yeah,
Or I
but
guess
the-
Meta
again,
now.
this is again we're talking about like Meta and what like Zuckerberg has been doing. Like, the guy had Facebook, and then he saw a potential
good, now we
on Instagram, made
Mhm.
it even bigger, and I mean,
And then he dropped the ball on Snapchat because he wanted to pay, I think, 800 million or something. They came back and said 2 billion,
You're-
and then a couple of years down the road, it was valued at 10 billion.
yeah.
yeah.
So-
Like Snapchat has been there for like the really new generation, like perhaps like under 25, under 20, perhaps.
I had Snapchat in high school, and
Yeah,
I'm
like I
28.
used to have Snapchat. I don't use
I had
it. It's
Snapchat by middle school. Yeah,
So
I have
so-
Snapchat,
so-
but
so
to me,
the-
Snapchat is just like
The
it
thing
what it
is, this
it's
is
still used a lot. Yeah.
It's for
Yeah,
the
reason
that I
hoes
think
because
this
they
guy-
delete all the messages
That's
for
it.
you.
That's
the
what
reason
it
that I
is.
think this guy is like brilliant, and Zuckerberg, it's like okay, you had a Facebook, then
Well,
you
he's
had
not creating
then,
anything
then you
anymore.
had
He's just
you had
buying
Instagram.
stuff.
I think the purchase of WhatsApp was massive, bro.
Yes,
Yes.
purchase of WhatsApp was massive.
That's huge. Like, even though like in the US, like nobody uses like WhatsApp, and it's being called like this is
But
like
it's only what 400
is
million
like
people out of
third-
8 billion.
third world country, like messenger, like service, whatever, like WhatsApp, bro. Like WhatsApp, it's a global thing.
Yes, that's
It's
what
a
I'm saying.
global thing.
The 400 million that
It's
in the
like
United States
it's
are
like
not using is not a big
beautiful.
deal.
It's like beautiful. You know that, Jay. Like when we went to I don't know, Colombia. Let's say we were in Colombia. Oh yeah, we want to order pizza. Ooh, a message through WhatsApp. But the pizza was there like a couple of minutes later. It's been actually working as a different platform on which it's now directed to business owners. You can call from anywhere free. It doesn't matter if you're actually have access to data, which is probably like anywhere. So this is where you get connectivity on a global basis, so easier.
Yeah, so I think as far as the creative goes for businesses and things like that, I think Instagram is still number one. As far as being a creative, putting out stuff for your business, so on and so forth, adding value is going to be Instagram. Number two, I think, is YouTube, right? Because then you have the long form content, which YouTube is known for its long form content rather than short form content, right? People still post short form content. Hopefully, that's going to drive traffic, which it does. So next thing is, I think, YouTube, and I think after YouTube, you're going to have TikTok, right? Because you have to look at your demographic, like who's on Insta. Everyone and their mother is on Instagram, male and female. On YouTube is more male driven. TikTok is more female driven. So that's a separation right there, which means that they're gonna have half of the, give or take half of the customer base from Instagram. So Instagram is still gonna be the largest one, I think. And Instagram now started selling stuff on there and things like that. So they're clearly monetizing on this. But what I want to say, Zuck was a visionary solo about Facebook. That's it. After Facebook kickoff, he started buying things. Mm-hmm. He never created anything else. He just bought shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, it depends. All this conversation started with, Zuckerberg and Elon. Like, yeah, you tell me, like Elon, it was just, oh, this is Tesla. And a lot of people are complaining about, like, all his decisions on Tesla, like not rebranding, but, like, repositioning in terms of pricing or the vehicles, like dropping it down in price, making it more affordable. Like, people were complaining because, like, they thought I'm having this car, I'm actually, like, up here when it comes to status, because it was a symbol of status. Now it's not. So clearly his vision, it was not communication per se. He started with Starlink, was it the satellite with the internet, global? Yeah. That I really thought that was a massive thing. Like,
it still is
bringing internet like everywhere. Yeah, like it will go there.
When it works.
The SpaceX thing, and so forth. How do you guys see, for example, because we haven't mentioned this name, Jeff Bezos, into the equation?
I think Jeff Bezos, has pretty much stepped away. He stepped away from everything. He got his money. He's still getting paid because of the Amazon. I think he just kind of stepped away. He said, goodbye, Charlie.
I don't see nothing beating Amazon in the next 10 years.
No, nothing's going to... See, here's the issue. When you have companies like Instagram, Facebook, Amazon, YouTube, it's super hard to beat those companies. Any new social media platform that's going to come in, right? Or whether it's a marketplace that's going to come in. They have to bring in the content. So if you don't have friends on this social media platform and they're not putting out content that you can see or other content there, people are just not going to migrate. A
lot of them nowadays start at the wrong side too, because look at Facebook. What was it? It was just a college meetup site, right? And then it evolved into bringing everyone in. There was no political standings. There was no we don't have those people here, like now people are trying to pick sides, be like, oh, come to us, we won't cancel you if you're a Nazi,
but even Amazon, starting diversifying a little bit, these people are really investing into, like, Whole Foods, for example, on the supermarket chain.
Yes, because they have to, because they're running out of
the organic side.
I think they own Whole Foods, right?
Yeah, they own
Whole Foods, yes. Now, the thing with Amazon is once they open their doors to second world countries, third world countries, I think this is the market that they can start capitalizing on. But then, again, they need to have the products and warehouses in another country that are going to be maintained in a similar fashion to deliver the goods and services, right? And I think this is what they're running an issue with, because their storage is actually a physical storage, right? So either they have to start kind of like the eBay style, right, which eBay was all over the world, but eBay is...
Which they already do. You can get from secondary sellers and shit like that. It doesn't come directly.
So then they're going to continually build these sites where they can store stuff in more popular areas slowly, and they're just going to continue going.
How's been, like, eBay performing?
eBay...
It's on the same. Like, yes, Amazon just, like, is destroying everything right now.
Walmart,
but eBay is starting to, like, work with the customer more to build a little more trust.
But this is when, like for instance, and going back to Elon, and like Elon used to be, wasn't he the CEO of PayPal, for instance? Like, for example, no?
I know he was made a lot of money off PayPal.
He basically was one of the co-creators of PayPal.
So
I think it was like X something in the beginning that changed the name to PayPal, and then they sold PayPal to into it. Well, no, PayPal bought into it. So anyway, long story short, he made ton of money off of that. Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Elon Musk bought into all of the things. He has not physically made or innovated anything.
Well, no, you're right. He hasn't physically made or innovated anything, but what he has done is like, I see a potential in this. I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm gonna make it better.
Because
Same
when
thing
Daddy
happened-
gives you a big emerald mine, you know,
No,
you got money.
Stop. Daddy gives him a big emerald mine. His daddy came out and said that shit, and then he recanted that shit. So nobody really knows whether he has that mine or not. It's just speculation at this point.
It's
Like-
not speculation. It's been proven.
No, he hasn't.
I think that the guy has always been there for the last, 30, 40 years. Doesn't cost that much, attention for whatever. It's always going to be Bill Gates, bro.
Bill Gates. No, Bill Gates. See what happened with Bill
Like,
Gates?
this guy is supposed to be, obviously with Microsoft. Microsoft has been a steady stock there, always growing.
Yeah, but see, this is what happened with Microsoft.
It wasn't impacted that much, with the situation on the tech stocks. It's always been there, and now like the guy is like again diversifying.
But he stepped away.
Looking in a different aspect. I heard this guy is like the biggest, like right now, the biggest landowner in the United States.
Because it's a tax write-off, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a tax write-off, right? So yes, that's true. But everybody's been doing that. Now, here's the thing with Microsoft. Back in the '90s, Microsoft got hit with a monopolizing case. But the whole thing was they told him that you have to play by the rules, and he said, "Do you know who I am? I basically control the internet, and I basically control the tech industry." And they said, "Oh, you control the tech industry." First lawsuit, $100 million. Second lawsuit, $100 million. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to start playing by rules. So he started playing by rules. Now, same thing is going to happen to Zuckerberg if he doesn't start playing by rules or if he stops playing by rules, right? They're going to hit him with monopoly because if you look at it right now, Meta owns the largest share of total social media market. Meta owns the largest share. And what happens usually with companies that own the largest share? They're going to come in and say, okay, it's not an oligopoly anymore, it's a monopoly. And that's what's going to happen. But what
but there's too many other social media platforms out there to prove that it's a monopoly, you know?
Well,
like, you have to prove without a reasonable doubt that you are cornering the market completely to where you are completely shutting down competition.
Correct. So, but he does own majority of the share. Like, if similar thing is happening right now in United States, why do you think there's only 4 cell phone companies? T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, but that's it. 3 companies, right? It's an oligopoly, which means these guys get together, decide what the price is going to be, and that's what the price they sell it for, right? Before you had Spirit, then you had
right now you what's it called? AT&T I think is under T-Mobile anyways.
AT&T no, Spirit is under T-Mobile and Metro PCS is on because they basically
Sprint,
merged with
yeah.
Sprint. They
Sprint,
merged with Sprint and they bought Metro
Sprint,
PCS. AT&T is still on its own. Verizon on its own and T-Mobile is on its own.
Well, they also have their subsidiaries too, like Vision or
Yep.
Visible, and like
Boost Mobile
Straight
and all
Talk.
of these,
You
yeah.
also have those smaller ones that use their towers that you're paying
Yes.
monthly
Yes, they
things for. Yeah.
Yeah, but none of the small ones are picking up. It's the oligopoly of the biggest cell phone companies. I think the same thing is going to happen with social media. You're going to have your Meta side of things, then you're going to have your Google side of things, and then you're going to, if Rumble kicks off, you're going to have Rumble as the third smaller brother, which Rumble has the potential to become T-Mobile if they do everything correctly. If they have a CEO that's a visionary, they can be there. You know, the only thing is they have to tread the water nicely, and what's going to happen, they're going to start letting people talk, and then the Congress is going to come in, or people with power are going to come in and say, you need to stop letting these people on because they're ruining our agenda. And Rumble is going to say no, and next thing you know, Rumble stock is going to tank because they're neo-Nazis. That's what's going to happen. Because
there are a lot of Nazis on the platform.
There are. No, there are.
So if Congress came in to say kick anyone off, they're only saying kick off the Nazis.
Correct.
So like, What's
see,
the issue?
here's the thing. You posted a good clip on Discord of what's his name, the astrophysicist,
Neil
Neil
deGrasse
deGrasse Tyson, when he's talking about Baghdad and how math was born in Baghdad, how Baghdad was the place where everybody got together and said their opinion, and then when you discuss these opinions, people find a chink in the armor, and then you can fix it, right? And I think Rumble can be Baghdad, but the problem is, in a current political situation, it's not conducive for other side to talk. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, Republicans, they don't want Democrats to talk, and Democrats, they don't want Republicans to talk. It's not conducive because they don't want to get together and solve the issue. They want to keep their sides distant because this is how they make majority of the money. When you come
But
together,
they're both already on YouTube.
They're both already on YouTube.
They're already
Absolutely
on
correct.
YouTube, and the only people that were getting kicked off, except for the whole like COVID scare, which is a pandemic, and we need to look at it as a pandemic. People were scared; they were reacting emotionally.
Correct.
But except for that, the only people getting kicked off were either violating terms and conditions or Nazis. So like,
Yeah, but you still have to have Baghdad. Whether it's wrong or right, these people are within our society, and they can't say
but that's the
whatever
thing.
fucking
You
toxic
you're
shit they're
you're
saying.
you're missing the point about Baghdad, right? These people came together as a collective to learn from each other.
Correct.
Right? What are
Right.
Nazis doing? They're saying everyone's evil and should die except for white people. So like that's not the Baghdad mentality to make Baghdad happen.
And I don't think
But-
this is the same thing because you're looking at a platform, right? I believe that anybody can go out there and make a platform and implement whatever fucking terms and conditions they want. And if anybody goes on that platform, is making accounts and abides to that, should follow those terms and conditions.
Not
if
when-
not, get off the fucking platform. I don't understand why this is such a big thing. And you're trying to compare this to like the creation of algebra and mathematics.
Right.
Well, the reason I'm
I don't
trying to
understand.
compare, this is what I'm trying to.
I get you're saying it's like innovating in the same way.
No,
like moving
that's not
forward,
where I'm
but
going.
like,
What I'm going is
Very
when
different.
your terms and conditions get influenced by the government or political parties by saying you need to do this only, that's when this becomes an issue. You know what I mean? So those terms and conditions, do you not think that it would want other side, like whether it's bad or good, this is a customer base that can pay as well. So as a company, you're maximizing your profits, right? But what they're saying is like the lashback that we're gonna get is better to cut off the arm than lose the entire body, right? That's what they're saying. That's why they're cutting off the arm. To me, is no matter how toxic or how bad the other side opinion is, that needs to be put out there so other people can decide and say you are fucking wrong. You know what I mean? Because these things exist in our society. You can't say that they don't. They do. So the more
Yeah,
light
but they're
you
not
give
being taught in our society, right?
What do you mean?
Like we weren't taught how Hitler came to power, right? We were just taught that Hitler was a bad guy.
Correct.
But Hitler came to power by talking in pubs and getting other people behind
Correct.
him, and he even tried to take over early and failed a couple of times.
Correct.
You know,
So that this is what I'm trying to say.
and how do you do that? Through hate of one person, right?
This is correct because if you don't look at the history, you're bound to repeat it. So you need to understand that these people are coming and getting a rise by doing this. So in order for you to
So we
nip it
already
in the
have an
bud-
educational system that does not teach that, right?
correct.
To on a platform that is reaching more populace than that education system has taught. This is how we make Nazis. So that's why there's an active effort to stop Nazis, especially on these platforms.
If the educational system doesn't teach that, and if this platform is doing more than the educational system, maybe this is the place where you teach them
No,
that these
it's
are Nazis
reaching
and these are bad
more.
guys. That's
It's
what I'm
reaching
saying.
more. And there are a bunch of them, right? But YouTube has an AI algorithm. You get the wrong thing on there, and you're gonna get 50 of them, right?
Yes.
So yes, you're not creating millions of Nazis, but it didn't take millions of Nazis to take over Germany.
No, I agree with you, but you still have to shed light to the good and the bad in the world for you to understand what good is and what the bad
So
is.
they can live their lives and do their hateful shit, right? And we can teach about it. But I don't believe we
No,
should
sir.
give them the platform to spread it.
So they can, yeah, but see, this is the whole thing. Like now, I'm in no place to tell someone how to live their life. I can only say how I want to live my life. Right? So it's not my place to say how you should live the life, nor for me to be a judge and jury by saying you're living your life wrong. I don't care how much of a fucked up shit you do you boo, and let me decide how I'm going to act with you. Right? This is going to be
So
already
you're a
my
part of the problem. You're implicit. You
no.
you don't care enough to actually activate
That's
against things
not
you don't
that's
believe in.
that's not a care, because my treatment of those people is going to be completely different. I truly believe everyone deserves to do and say whatever they want. However, by doing so, you should expect to get some sort of a reply. And when you get that reply, you should take it.
Zero,
Because
zero exception for violence and spread
Correct.
of hate and all that. Really?
no
But
zero
they're actively against what you believe because you believe that people should do what they do and just be left to being people, right?
no
They
no 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 no
actively
no not left
believe.
being people. Not left being people. You do whatever you want to do, but you also have to accept the accountability that comes along with it. Do you see what I'm
Okay.
saying? So you're given free reign to act whatever, however you want to act.
And they don't believe that.
What do you mean they don't believe that?
They believe that if you're only white, you're right, and everything else is wrong
But
and
th-
should get out
but
and
that's
or die.
but that's
And they actively put those beliefs into our world.
but majority of the society doesn't believe that. So majority of the society will suppress their voices. They'll suppress their views. They're not gonna get traction. They can
You say
spew their
that,
hate all
But
they
why
want.
did they get more
but it's
traction?
been
with
a
Trump's
rise
effect?
since 2016. Exactly.
Yeah, but what
Why did
what is
they?
the
Why did it grow?
now
with
when
Trump
you say
effect?
there's
It's
been a
grown.
rise, what is it with numbers on a total population level? What is it with numbers, percentage
Wait,
wise?
we're not talking about total population. We're talking about a 50% rise in white nationalist groups in their fucking ranks,
So let me
which happened in
so
2016
let
and
me
has continued to rise since.
so let me put this in a perspective. So let's say there's 1 million in United States. There's 1 million nationalists like that. 1 million. There's been a 50% rise in 1 million in the nationalists. That's only million and a half. That's literally not even a half a percent of the total society, even with the 50% rise. So we have to put these things in perspective as far as the total population and what is the rise, right? Like
You
if
understand you're protecting
I'm not.
white nationalists with your rhetoric, right?
I'm not
You're
protecting them.
over generalizing so they seem small. And I do agree with you. Compared to the whole world and or the America, yeah, it's a small group. But guess what? The whole world in America isn't out actively killing people just because of the color of their skin. Isn't out actively trying to put people with racist rhetoric and racist ideas into power so that they can pass their racist laws.
Thank you for
That's
proving
not
my
happening
point. Thank you for proving my point. That is not
to the
happening.
general masses. But those people, that
Mhm.
tiny group, is. And guess what? They're doing it for malicious intent, with malicious intent. So why is that not a problem?
That is a problem. I'm not saying it's
There
not a
you
problem.
go. Now you're admitting it. It's a problem, right? So why
Correct.
the fuck do you compare that to the entire population when no one cares about the entire population? All we care about these fucks that are doing things because they're racist.
So this is why I'm comparing it to the entire population, because the problem, although it exists, it is not as big as by saying 50% increase.
Yes, it
not.
is. Yes, it is. There's
not.
literally evidence out there that their ranks grew 50% since 2016.
Yes, but overall, their ranks are still
That's
nothing.
not comparing to the rest of the fucking country, you idiot. It is the
No, stop,
fucking.
stop. I didn't call you an idiot. I didn't call you an idiot.
Well,
I
I'm
didn't-
sorry. I'm not acting like one. You can't see how you are
No.
protecting them by making them
I am
feel
not
small.
protecting them. I am
Then
not
why does it
protecting them.
matter that it's compared to the rest of the fucking country?
Because
You're
have-
saying there's no way that there's a 50% increase in their ranks, in their membership, because they're
That's
a
not what I
small
said.
amount of the
That's
country.
not what I said. That is not what I said. I said when you're putting things in a perspective and you're saying there's a 50% increase, that sounds menacing and that sounds crazy, which is wrong.
It is to these fucks that murder people, isn't it?
Stop for a minute and listen. Stop screaming and calling people names. I respect you enough not to call you names, so stop calling me names. Thanks. Now,
I'm sorry, did I hurt your feelings?
No, you
I
didn't hurt- you
apologize.
didn't hurt
If I
my
hurt your feelings, I apologize for
you
calling
didn't
you an
hurt
idiot.
you didn't hurt my feelings. It is what it is. It happened, whatever. Water under the bridge. So, the point here is when you're saying 50% increase, nobody's taking it away from you. I'm acknowledging that there was a 50% increase within their ranks. You're absolutely correct about that. However, just like you said, overall majority of the society doesn't give a shit about what they have to say nor what they do, and they condemn those. 100%. They're saying the same thing as I. They are wrong.
Okay.
Are we
And
what
what does
agreeing
that
so
have
far?
to do with the 50%
What
increase
what
and
stop
how
for a minute.
they're bad people and shouldn't be on
So
platforms?
stop for a minute, and I'm gonna continue. So are we agreeing with an idea that majority, 98.5% are
No, not 98.5. No.
so, okay? What is the percentage that's condemning them? What's
Let's
the
not get into a
percentage?
percentage advantage. Let's not use statistics. Let's not. I am literally
Well, that's
saying
how you have
that
to
these
look at things
people
with
are
statistics.
evil, actively putting evil into our
No
country,
one's taken
correct?
away. No one is taken away from that.
Okay. So a
Mm-hmm.
50% increase of
Yes.
evil would be bad, right?
50% of evil would be bad. However, if when no one is
Once
giving
again, you're
them
protecting
gas,
them.
I'm not protecting them. I'm just telling you, if no one is giving them gas,
What do you mean they're not giving them gas? Whole platforms were built for them, bro.
bro, no one is giving them gas. No one cares about them. No one, literally no
And that's
one.
the problem. That's the problem. No one cares. So they've been actively in the dark doing these things and still
Yeah.
getting away
I
with
think
it.
that my arm hurts, so you know. Let me do
Stop
a
doing
little bit
that,
of
bro.
flexibility.
Stop doing that, bro. Come on, man. We're in the stream. So my point here is, although I do agree with what you're saying, I do think that you have the right to understand that that exists there, where you can choose for yourself what you're going to do with that information. Now, by you saying that we're gonna get rid of him, what you're effectively saying that is majority are idiots, they're stupid, and they don't understand what's going on around them. This is what you're saying. And now, what I want to say, let's talk about United States. As much access to information as we have, I do not believe that an average person in the United States is that stupid to believe that what they're doing is correct. I'm giving it to people. I have hope. I'm being optimistic that people understand this and they're going to condemn them and not give them gas.
That idea of saying, well, let's let these people on these platforms to spread this hate because the majority of the populace will understand that they're stupid. That's not really justifiable, because you shouldn't just allow them to try and spread this idea.
Listen, you're not allowing them to spread the idea.
You're allowing them to be there and
You
say whatever
are.
they want.
They can say whatever they want, but it is up to you to accept whatever they're saying or not. It's up to you to fight against them or not. It's not up to
And how these companies fight against them, they make terms and conditions that kick them off the platform.
which I
Just like the majority
I
of the fucking
understand.
population of the United States would agree with.
I understand. However, the reason Rumble gained traction is because they're allowed. It's not so. See, this is the thing. We're concentrating on that. It's not all about the. It's not about the fascist pigs, right? We're not only talking about them. This is a very small percentage. People that are getting canceled on these platforms there's a lot more people getting canceled on these platforms for other things than just that. If it was just that, I'd say, you know what, you're correct. Just go ahead and do it. If it was just violence and that, or which is violence, let's just say if it was just inciting violence, I would say go ahead and do that. However, there's a bunch of other people that are getting canceled because somebody's feelings getting hurt and they don't like what this person is saying. It has nothing to do with
Okay.
inciting violence. It
Well,
has
we
nothing
weren't
to do
talking
with
about
anything.
that.
But that's my point.
Well,
That is my
No,
point.
That's
no,
not what
we
we're
were talking
talking
about that hate, that violence you were talking about,
Yeah,
and
the-
how
well,
that shouldn't
the-
be on popular platforms.
What can I say? They're missing.
They already have their chats. They
What-
already have their websites.
They
They'll
do.
find they have a newsletter.
They do, and they're gonna continue having this because this is what happens in the
Exactly.
world. They
But
can't
on
continue.
popular platforms, they should be, I don't believe they should be there.
Now, see, I believe that everyone should have the right to say what they're saying, and then take the lashback that comes from it. Let the society stone you. You make your bed and then you lay in it. This is called accountability. This is what I believe in.
So
So you want more like comments and stuff which puts their videos up higher and it gets advertised more because the algorithm is seeing more activity on it.
Well, then create better algorithms. Create better algorithms.
You're expecting too much.
You're
You know
everything
you're not
except
you know you're not.
let's just not have it on popular platforms.
But see, I didn't open a social media platform. They did.
Yeah, but the thing is that like right
They
now,
did open a social platform and gave me access to their own social platform, so they're responsible for
the
this.
thing is like
Not me.
like out there, and this is such true fact. You know, once a rumor is spread, you know, in a massive way, it becomes a reality. At least people think it's true, right? So this is what happened, for example, when with Donald Trump with Twitter. You know, oh, like the elections got rigged, I got stolen, all that. I was like, yeah, bro, there was like no true facts about behind it.
Correct. There's
There
no
was
true
like
facts.
no correct information on it. So this
Yes.
guy is just spreading something, you know, all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And still
So-
to this day says he won the
Yeah,
election.
yeah. So should we leave it there and not ban the guy? Just, you know, because this is a guy that actually, you know, gets a lot of traction. People started believing that. Start getting, you know, people hyped up, and people actually start believing, you know, like non-factual stuff. And this
Yeah.
is where the problem is, that, you know, all these little rumors, not true, but when you start spreading them, it becomes a reality. They become real. They become a threat. And that's like the potential. Like, I understand what you're saying. I understand like both parts. I would say I'm more, you know, from my perception, I'm with you, Jay. I would definitely love to have, like, you know, like people just express whatever they want to say, and people just, okay, like, you can't be that stupid to follow like this like nonsense, you know, comment or whatever.
Exactly.
But in reality, it's not true. That's not what happens, bro. You know,
There you go.
that's
There
not
you
what
go.
happens. So
Unfortunately.
I really
Well,
love,
I remember.
I would
How is that
really-
my fault?
I would really love for this.
No, no, just think about it. How is that
No,
my
it's
fault?
Not, it's not your
Then
fault.
there you go.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I would really love, like, what you're saying to be true. I would really love
Correct.
to all the platforms just to be open for people
It's like-
to just say whatever they want to say. But there has to be a certain control, because otherwise, you know, again, all
Right.
these
That's what I
rumors,
asked my
they become
father.
What about
Why
Chomos?
Do, why do
Would you like that out publicly?
Who?
Chomos?
I don't know what that is.
Child molesters?
Oh.
Well, that's. I mean, that they've been trying to push for that. I mean, now.
They have.
Yeah,
But they have their own platforms and stuff. Would you want that on YouTube?
No, obviously
Would
not.
you want kids to
That's-
have access to
That's
that?
There you
inciting
go.
violence, right? Like I already said, I'm not all about inciting.
But you can
violence.
say it about Chomos, but not Nazis? Nazis, we got to compare it to the rest of the population.
No, but
There's more Nazis than there are Chomos registered.
I understand what you're saying, but if you ask overwhelming majority of people, they're not gonna. So
I would
They're
say the
not gonna-
majority of people would say, yeah, neo-Nazis should not be on
correct.
Facebook or Instagram.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, that's not what you were saying, my
No.
friend. That's
No,
not what you were
sorry,
saying.
I jumped the gun on this. What I'm saying, majority of people would say they are wrong.
Okay, this is my thing. Ready? This reminded me of our conversation I had with my father one day. I say, I understand some people with religion and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked him, but why do some people still abide by some a little bit extreme religious beliefs and stuff like that? And he told me, he said, and I told him, it's like, with the amount of information available in someone's
Yeah.
pocket, and they're still abiding by certain
Yes.
things, right? And I asked him that, and he goes, my son, majority of the world is still very ignorant.
yeah,
Yes, because
and that's true.
I can see that. I can see that.
That's the same
That's
thing
part of
why-
it as well.
bro. Like,
Yeah, but I think we can all
what is-
agree
what
that
is-
burning
is,
people
like,
is not a
you know,
good thing.
what is the biggest lie, like, that come out of, like, every man's mouth, bro?
The biggest lie that comes
I'm your
out of-
friend.
No, bro. It's like just a tip, just a tip, bro. It's never gonna happen, bro. It's never gonna happen. You know,
I thought it was gonna be something like I'm not drinking on Saturday or.
No,
something like
that's
that.
true. I say I'm not drinking on
I'm
Saturday.
like, I got a
usually don't.
big
like
dick.
just a tip is like the biggest lie out of, like, men's
It's
mouth.
6
Like,
inches, I swear.
and the thing is this, like, you get to see, like, all, and this is like what happens, like, on a daily basis. Like, just recently I was like, you know, I was working with one of my, like, you know, co-workers. She's a collaborator, and she goes to church. And then it's like, okay, let's go ahead and visit my pastor, right? So the pastor didn't know how to read and write, bro.
What?
And I was like, okay, so if this guy doesn't know how to read and write, how can he actually can read the Bible and stuff like that? Oh no, I think he can, but he just like I don't understand. So how are you following a person that is not literally enough to, you know, like know how to read and write?
You can abide by the rules they're trying to teach you,
It's
right?
just,
Like,
just dumb. This is our, people that, they, out of lies, they're like, snake, what do you call that? Like,
Snake handlers.
yeah, snake handlers, like,
Yeah, but the snake handler's been
and
all over everywhere in
but
society.
it's the same
Always.
thing. Every time you hear like all those, people, you just want to like bring more people and stupid people into the equation and get them to understand and believe something that probably there's not. So there needs to be control, because a lot of people are weak, in a mind way, minded way, wise, they're weak, and they're just gonna believe whatever you say.
I don't know if they're weak or they're just too busy.
They're weak, bro.
For
They're
example,
weak. They just wanna
here's
believe-
here's
they
a
wanna
good
believe
Or they
what-
think they're too busy.
No, I understand what Jay's saying in the sense that too busy, like their brain
Won't
doesn't
invest
into that area of thought. You know what I mean?
They just don't want to think about it.
For
too
for
much.
example, there's a whole thing right now.
And not knowing how to read and
there-
write.
one of
I
the-
didn't mean too busy.
one of the Republican people, I don't forget her name. She anyway pushed for Biden's impeachment in a committee, right?
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, yeah. So did you guys go and read why? It's fucking complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It's complete
Well,
bullshit.
she did it as a campaign raising fund, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was also using that as a campaign raising fund, and was trying to delay actually putting it to a vote until they had something to vote on. But Lauren Boebert used a committee rule to get it
committee rule to
put
get it
on
in.
the
And
yeah,
her
and
excuse
then it
was-
lost the vote, and they tried to put it to a more Democrat or more Republican-led
yes.
committee
Yes.
first to try to get more evidence and more votes.
And then
yeah.
the whole thing was like, oh, we'll bring the evidence in front of the committee. That was their like response to what's the evidence, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like that's stupid, right? But this didn't become a mainstream thing. See what I'm saying? Like when Trump was getting impeached, which he did fuck up, he deserved it. You know what I mean? That became a national news, and everybody was pushing it. But this part is not being pushed. See what I mean?
There's a difference. There's a difference between introducing articles of impeachment and actually getting impeached, right? You introduce articles of impeachment,
Yes.
and then gets voted on, then evidence gets supplied, and then the
No, I
case
agree, I
starts,
agree.
and then you get impeached.
I
So there's
agree.
a difference there.
I agree, because when this whole thing happened with Trump, it immediately took traction. Before articles of impeachment, before all that stuff, it immediately took traction.
Who wins? Donald Trump versus Joe Biden in a grappling match.
Joe Byron. So what I'm trying
Well,
to
also
say,
you got to look at Trump's strategy, right? He was like controversy after controversy after controversy after controversy. So every day you woke up to a new Trump shit. So like
it's like
because
Andrew
it was-
Schultz said,
impeachment
that shit
was just there.
entertaining.
because there were a couple of things here. You're right. There was a trending topic to look at what dumb shit he said again, right? So everybody was looking at it, and everybody was following super closely what's going on. But there also, you can't take it away that media also
Spicy.
amplified this to make sure more eyes got a hold of it. Now,
I mean, I don't know about your media, but I've watched that same article, and then the two Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert, their actual like almost cat fight on the thing. Like media was sucking this up. Like they even had Boebert and Marjorie on different times to talk about what happened on the floor.
yes,
And this is like Fox News doing this.
yes, and I agree with you. And this is how you got your sources. But let's be honest, where do people get their news sources from?
I mean, they usually stick to one outlet.
No,
and
they get
don't
it from their
investigate
social
more.
media. I think they get it from their social media. They don't really stick to the outlet. They go to that outlet when something comes up on social media. Now, social media didn't put this on there anywhere. This is nowhere to be found on social media. No one is sharing
Maybe
this
on
stuff.
your social media. But
saw
like I said,
something
I
about
see
Donald
articles
Trump.
and all that shit.
It-
Like,
I don't
I
know.
got
My
something.
point.
so you haven't actively put your internet through that to be able to be advertised that.
Which is a
That's
good
just
thing.
all it is.
Which is a good thing then.
Is it? You're saying it's a bad thing that it wasn't advertised, but it wasn't advertised because the
That means
algorithm is keeping it from you.
the algorithm is super confused about what I want in life. That's awesome.
No, I think it knows exactly
Yeah, he
what
gets a
you
lot of
want.
things like like visit Colombia or whatever.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of
I know,
Colombia,
I know.
a lot of Colombia reels.
The algorithm
For
definitely
sure.
knows what you want, Jay. Don't worry.
No, but the point here is what I'm trying to say is, I mean, if we're gonna have democracy, then have a democracy. But if you're gonna have a despotism, then have a despotism. But please decide what the hell you want to do. You know what I mean? Like,
What?
if you're gonna have a democracy, then have a democracy, right? But if you're gonna have a fascist agenda, then have a fascist agenda. But don't go out there saying we have a democracy and put fascist agenda in place, or have a fascist agenda and say that you're being democratic. This is what I'm trying to say. So don't just pick something, not what's beneficial to you right now, but what
I think it's a lot easier to get elected Brandon as Republican than fascist.
to get one now.
It's a lot easier to get elected when your brand is Republican and not fascist.
What do you mean? I'm not following.
You said if you're just fascist, be fascist, right?
No. What I'm
But
saying
we
is
have a two-party system, right? So you have to adhere to what you're going to get elected. You can still be a fascist and have fascist ideals and try to pass fascist laws, but you got to attune to America's established political system.
well, no. I understand what you're saying. Meaning, like if you're trying to get elected, either go on one side or the other side. I get that.
Right. It's just like when they call Democrats socialists,
But
you know.
That's true, and just like you've said this many times before that Kamala is a cop, even though she's a Democrat, which I think she's a fascist. That's what I think. I
wouldn't go that far, but she's definitely a pig.
Well, there you go. So that means both sides have fucking assholes on there. So what I'm trying to say, be in the middle.
I agree with you.
Be
Well,
in the
that's
middle.
the problem,
Get together
right?
and solve the fucking issue. Don't just fucking say this guy's right and this guy's wrong. Get together and fix the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. The whole conversation is about that.
That's what happens when you get a binary system. It's either him or me.
No, well, that's not true because we had a binary system in 1960s and everybody got together. Secretaries from Republican side would go work for the Democrat side. From Democrat side would go work for the Republican side. There was more of a common goal for the nation.
And what happened after that?
What do you mean what happened?
Civil rights was passed, and Dixiecrats turned into Republicans, and Republicans turned into Democrats. So then after that, Republicans had a surefire way to win the South every time, and it was Jesus and racism.
Dixiecrats? The original
Yes.
Dixiecrats?
Yes, they turned into Republicans. Yes,
So the original
and they were the ones that were against civil rights.
So the original Democrats are the ones that are fascists then. I mean, by what you're
I
saying.
wouldn't say. I mean, I wouldn't say they went that far. They were just had very strong opinions on slavery and didn't want to give. And when they didn't want to give, I mean, didn't want to give fucking centuries after it's already been abolished.
Well,
and we're still passing Jim Crow and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is dumb. Obviously, that's fucking stupid. Like, we're not gonna get slavery back. That's just stupid. If somebody thinks out there that slavery is gonna come back, they need to go live on Mars.
Shoot
Just
for
book a
child
trip.
labor because that's becoming legal.
Child labor has been legal in the United States since I came here. When you were 14 with your
Legal, or you get a fine from it.
No, when you're 14 with your parents' consent, you can work in a grocery store and stock shelves.
I'm not talking about 14-year-olds stocking shelves. I'm talking about 10-year-olds using harsh chemicals to clean meat packing plants.
Yeah.
Which the company just gets a small fine from.
Yeah.
And has to schedule another inspection, but there's so many defunded inspection people that we don't know how many children are being exploited out.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's wrong. No,
I think there was 3 companies found in Kentucky, like a McDonald's franchise and something else, using underage children in spots that they aren't legally allowed to work.
You said McDonald's franchise, right? McDonald's franchise.
Yeah.
So it's the owner of that franchise that's doing it. It's not the entire McDonald's company.
I didn't say McDonald's was doing it.
Okay. I thought you said company. That's why I was like, cause it's the McDonald's is not gonna go and put their name on a line like
But
that.
now,
They could do that
if
in many
McDonald's
cases.
just let this person pay the fine and then continued
To
their
the
business with this franchise, they're complicit in it.
That is correct. If they well, no, if the person paid their fine and no longer is doing it, how are they complicit in it?
Well, there's a process after that. You got to pay your fine. You got to get multiple inspections after, and then there's
Correct.
a surprise
So
inspection. So, like, if after that and they have found clean after that, I understand why a
yes,
business would continue in a franchise.
that that,
Yes,
that happens
but
in a financial in industry as well. Like the maximum fine that can be given to you is $2,500 per any financial institution, but there's the whole thing of police yourself because the government doesn't have enough resources to police every financial company. So companies have to police
purposely.
themselves. Well, purposely or not purposely, I don't know. It is
No,
what it
it's
is.
it's been purposely. The Have you not heard the whole push for smaller government? This is why we say smaller government. What we mean is less regulation, less money going into these regulatory industries.
Yeah, but there's a push for it every 8 years. There's a push for it every 8 years. They get the size of the government smaller, and then they get the size of government bigger. It's a yin and yang process, and they understand what they're doing. They give it a little bit here, and then they're taking it away over there. So
Which is a fucked up system that we should probably fix, right?
how?
From the
How
bottom up.
from the bottom up?
Start local
Okay.
and then vote the
So
locals up.
hence coming back of Fusaka, if you don't know what people want and they're not talking, they're being in the back rooms discussing their ideas. Average person doesn't know this and they can't fix it. Hence the point, let them all talk and let them burn themselves in the fires that they've created.
They don't burn themselves in fires. They make themselves billions of dollars and pass laws to keep them the only ones with billions of dollars.
Yeah, well, I,
That's why American worker labor is almost dead last in most every category because we have very little rights compared to even Lithuania
in what? In which case?
in
In what?
workers' rights, in workers like uh not getting exploited, not getting
Mm-hmm.
actually having rights to be able to protest or strike, or
Mm-hmm.
not right to work. Where you can get fired, you have to be fired with cause, and then also some
Mm-hmm.
countries even fire you like, hey, this is your last month, this is your last 2 weeks, right? Because it's just like this whole like ghost quitting thing. If you're gonna fire me without giving me cause, why do you want me to give you 2 weeks before I quit?
No, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm putting myself in the shoes of somebody that created a company, right? And if I want to fire someone because I don't think they're the right person for my job, I fire them. There shouldn't be I'm giving them 2 weeks. There shouldn't be I'm doing this. I shouldn't be I'm doing that. Now, the reason they would need to give me 2 weeks is because I gave them the job. I created that position for them to work, and whatever job they do, they're getting paid for the job that they're doing because they signed on a dotted line. So
You
if you
get what
don't
you
like
get.
that, don't sign.
If you give this, you get it, right? If you're gonna treat an employee like that, you should expect the same respect, right? So why do you expect them to go out of their way instead of,
I get
you
where you're
know,
coming from in the sense like I know what you mean, like as a business owner you kind of think like, oh, it's me putting everything on the line, like I'm the one
They
putting
didn't put
risk.
any risk.
But
I
I
did.
want you to also think about it from the employee's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
exactly?
I'm coming in and I'm just getting paid for this specific job,
I'm the
and
reason
then
for your production, for
there you
your
go.
profit, but get none of it.
So he wouldn't even have this opportunity if I didn't create the job.
And you wouldn't have the money that you would have if
Yeah,
you didn't have anybody
But then
producing
again,
it.
they're getting compensated for doing a job and they're signing on a
poorly.
dotted
Very
line.
little compared
Poorly
to
or not poorly, they're signing on a dotted line by saying, I
I'm
will
saying
accept this.
I get
It's
what you're
an
saying.
agreement.
It's an agreement. Exactly. It's
Mm-hmm.
an agreement. So you have to agree on both sides, right?
Right?
Both people
But
have
That's
to
what
say
I'm
it
yes.
doesn't
saying.
say in that agreement that I got to give you 2 weeks notice.
Exactly.
No, that doesn't say in an agreement. Now I can understand, okay, this is pushing it a little too much. Okay, I get that. However, if I'm giving you a job, I expect some sort of a respect because I've built something.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Yeah, no,
Nobody
you
respect.
shouldn't.
Nobody. You shouldn't just.
Because
You shouldn't just assume that someone's gonna respect you because you gave them this job. And
because
you
if
built
no
it.
one created anything, no one created jobs, the society
I get
wouldn't
what
advance.
you're saying. I get what you're
So
saying.
there are
There's a difference
visionaries out
between
there
a
that do that.
boss and a leader, right?
Yes.
A boss thinks of themselves as the top and unfallible,
Which is wrong.
it's whatever goes, right?
Which
Exactly.
is wrong.
Leader actually works with their employees,
Correct,
makes
because
sure and cultivates their employees. You know, like yes, you are making a fuck ton more, and yes, you deserve it because you fucking made this. This is your fucking business, right?
that's that.
But, but
You have to
you
understand both
should also
perspectives.
expect humans to give you the same respect that you give.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't think they just fire him like that because it costs a lot more to train someone to bring him up to speed. It's a lot of money out of the pocket, but no production.
How else do people get fired except for surprise and on the spot?
It's usually, in my experience, it's usually been when somebody's been messing up a couple of times. They've been told, "Hey, you're doing this wrong. There's a corrective action." Several times, there are corrective actions, and they don't get it, and then they get fired because they're like,
I
"Listen,
understand.
we've
Yeah,
tried,
in the
we've tried
business in the
everything."
business world, you got write-ups and first and finals and things like that.
Yes.
Yes, I do get that.
Yes.
But in McDonald's,
No, in McDonald's they're gonna get fired. Yeah, because like they did something wrong and they get fired. But I think in McDonald's it's kind of usually made pretty clear cut. This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do since the first day. And if you do
And
this,
what
it's
is the?
I know
firing.
there's no like diminishing jobs, but again, like it's and probably this is gonna sound like very wrong, but there's a big difference when you working in a I don't know like a big multinational, big
Yeah, obviously.
big corporation, and then like and working as a burger flipper,
Yes, very big
because
difference.
it takes like little to no talent for you to be a burger flipper. Like,
that's
does
where I
take-
disagree with you.
it does
I've
take
been
a
a
little
burger flicker. It takes a lot of talent.
no, no.
I'm not taking
I don't-
anything. I'm not taking anything from you.
No,
I'm not saying that putting the, cookie cutter like that sure, that can be
I'm not-
done by even a robot.
Yeah.
But it's dealing with the customers. It's dealing with mass
That's what I was
orders.
gonna
It's
say.
dealing with all that.
No, that's what
And
I was gonna say.
But
being
that's
able to
that
keep
part
the
there.
composure to still be a customer
Yeah, but
service representative.
there's a big difference for like the reason there are positions like for everything. The person facing the customer dealing on a daily basis should not have the same type of background or preparation or whatever you want to call it, as the person like just being behind the scenes and just being a burger flipper. That's a different thing. If you're dealing with a customer and handling like situations and whatever, like that's not for everybody. There are just things that you don't. I mean, you're not qualified enough to do. I mean, maybe you can be there at some point with like proper training and getting like there, But again, like all these like like big corporations, they're looking for they're just looking for like high school degrees, colleges, whatever. They think like all the foundation, like on how a business is run. The concept of what's a P&L. That's like a profit and losses here. How to how accounting works in a certain way. Like like baby steps and all that. This is just not like okay, be here and just run the business. Maybe you can. There are people like natural for that. Maybe you're born with it, but if you come with a certain preparation, you're gonna be way ahead of like those people that I just found from the street and just go ahead and be there.
So
And you can
what are
be
the-
you
what are
can be
the-
expected to just be hired as a manager, like out from the streets with no preparation whatsoever.
What are the repercussions you're saying? Like someone expects you to give them 2 weeks notice. Like you said, nobody's putting this.
repercussions.
Nobody's saying this in a actual agreement beforehand. Just like with the whole firing thing. Like, so what is the whole comparison here? Is my thing. Like they expect this, but what's the whole like repercussion if one or the other thing happens?
I mean, in my experience, when it comes to 2 week notices, you actually get more
You do usually.
like you get punished more. You get punished by employees. You're seen as an outcast. You're
Yes.
seen as
Yeah,
a
that's
traitor.
true.
Yes,
You
you
get
do.
punished by the boss who's mad that he has to then now or they have to
Yes. And that's-
hire a new employee, train up a new
And
yeah.
that's boss's
again,
problem already.
but the 2
Because
week
you did your job. That's
but
already his problem.
The 2 weeks
So-
notice, although you know that you're gonna go out, you are being paid for that. Like anyways,
The only reason
and it's mentally prepping you, you know, for you to look stuff and look for a plan B and stuff like that, rather than, you know what, like upon now you don't get a paycheck, you don't get this, you don't get that. So
Well, I hope you have another option before you put in a 2 week
Yeah,
notice.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So every
But
every
like
every
two
time.
week notice, right? Like, yes, I guess it's preparing you, but also like the only benefit you get from that is you might be able to have another company call this company and be like, yeah, they were a very good employee, because you kind of tried to stamp out or pad their feelings about you quitting. Because if you just quit, you aren't there for 2 weeks for them to rag on you to get it out of their system, and then later down the road you get a call back. But if you just quit, they're gonna be like, oh, I hate this person, I'm gonna talk shit about them to anyone that calls us.
So this is anecdotal evidence, and I'm not trying to pat my own back for this, right? So this is talking about the restaurant jobs, right? I was working for this restaurant. This restaurant doesn't exist anymore. They went bankrupt, just as many restaurants do. So I started working there as a waiter, right? In 2 months, I was working as a bartender. In another 2 months, I was helping them in a kitchen, and then in the morning, and then working as a bartender. And then another 2 months, I was helping him in the kitchen, working as a bartender, closing the office. And in about a year, I was offered my own store to run another store, right? And during that time, when I was doing this, the reason I got so quickly went up is because my manager would tell me to do something. No matter how much I didn't agree, I said, you know what? You're the manager. You tell me to do this. I'm going to do this. It never came out of my mouth, no, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. There were weeks I was putting in for months, 120 hours, working, doing the job. This is what made me propel very quickly and get to where I need to go.
And you got paid overtime for that, right?
Of course I did. Not only overtime, not only overtime, I was making paychecks. Working in a restaurant, I was making solid paychecks. On top of that, I was making bartender tips. So that just gives you an idea how much money I was making, right? So I was motivated by the idea of making money and making as much money as I possibly can, right? But
and the more helpful you could be at the restaurant, the more opportunity you had to make more money.
Correct. So now, but during this time, a lot of people were walking around and saying, oh, you love to kiss manager's ass, right? These are my coworkers that are telling me this. Yet they would sit down and rag and complain how they're not getting the opportunity to propel in a company. Listen, I'm giving you an example how you can do that, which is by you investing a lot of time. This is what it took in this company for you to propel. Then that means
but
this
you
is
did
what
kind
you
of
need to
kiss
do.
ass, right? You had to kiss a little ass to get into that position, to be
Correct.
seen in that light, to then propel yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this was
they didn't have that ambition you had.
correct, because they put this in a negative light, like kissing ass was a bad thing. No, kissing ass was a good thing because it furthered my own agenda, which means
just kissing
making
the right
money.
ass.
Then sorry, all you have to do is when you go into a job, all you have to do is listen to your manager. And if he's an asshole, you go around and you go to the owner and you show that how you so much better than this manager. Next thing you know, you're gonna have this manager's job.
Maybe.
That's all there is.
It depends on the business. If the owner and the manager are good friends,
But
it might be a harder thing.
But if the manager is costing the owner money, I don't care what kind of friends you are.
And I'm on the same boat. You know, the mentality, and this is why I mentioned the burger flipper, like in the first place. Again, not to discriminate. The thing is that those people usually just go there, do their job, and just leave.
Because that's what they get paid for.
Correct.
Yeah, but they have no intent whatsoever. Like how could you be like escalating through, like, you know, up in the company if you're not actually, you know, putting effort into learning other aspects of the business. By learning other aspects of the business means that you need to like step out of like burger flipping, which you're actually getting paid for this, but you're not gonna be paid to learn more on this side. So if you're not
maybe their ambition isn't to be a manager at McDonald's.
That's what I'm saying.
Again, I have a friend of mine.
It's a mentality situation.
I agree and disagree in the sense also that doesn't always work that way because, for example, I can say that at Best Buy, it wasn't just like me trying to be ambitious and like say, oh, I want to go learn this, I want to go learn this. There was times where there's like, oh, I want to try. No, you need to go and do this.
Yeah, and then you do it.
And then you are forced. But I'm saying like some people aren't given that chance. You really think that as a burger flipper at McDonald's, they're given the chance to say, hey, you want to come learn this? No, they're telling them, no, stand there and flip your burger. If you
got paid a living wage and didn't have to worry there would be more people in the in the food industry that actually care about preparing your food, actually care about what they're doing, actually want to have that ambition. But we set the standard so low and an unlivable wage that all we get, and we've also had a societal, cultural look when it comes to fast food and food preparation
Yeah,
that
but and
But
again,
see,
and I've
sitting
seen
there,
people working in all these like fast food restaurants and like talking with so much passion about what they do, regardless of the uh, if it's like a minimum thing. They love with such in such a passionate way that it's actually like embracing. Like, bro, I love it. Like, tell me a little bit more, you know. But they really love the organization. They love everything about it. They love how the company is going. They love the potential of growth. They see growth opportunity. You know, as far as like equal opportunities inside the place. Like, yeah, today I'm here. I can potentially be there. Like you know, like Jay. Like in 2 months, I can potentially be here. But like, let's face it. No, but not everybody wants to take that extra step. Like how to get there. And probably they know how to, but they're not gonna do it because okay, I don't get paid for this. You
and
know.
their passion's not pushing in there.
so my
They're
point is
very
this.
passionate about the company, so they want to continue that passion.
So if we know the system is set up in that way where you're not getting paid the living wage, right? Now, for me, is this me sitting there and hoping someone is going to change this, not knowing when this is going to happen, right? I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm still going to do what's necessary to do to earn that money. So if that 40 hours is not providing me the living wage, I need to find another job or work more hours in a job that I have. And what that means, I have to put myself in an uncomfortable situation to get where I need to go. Because system
But
it
a
is.
lot of jobs aren't letting you work more hours. They're cutting overtime or not allowing overtime,
I agree with you. I agree with you. A lot of.
especially fast food jobs
I
who
agree with you.
predominantly hire part-time over full-time so they don't have to pay benefits.
I agree with you. However, when you demonstrate these things, when you're willing to go out of the way and give them 110%, so you always have to look at it in a way, how much money am I bringing to the company and what they're paying me? If the value that you're adding to the company is more than what they're paying you, they're never going to say no. If you bring it in $1,000 today by getting paid only 200, you just made extra $800 for the company. They're not going to say no to that. Versus you getting paid $200 and you bringing in only $400 of value. They're not going to say no to that. This is my point. If the system is set up that way, until it changes, then do what's necessary to get done to get
And
where you
that's
need
what's
to go.
happening. That's what's happening these days. That's why we see all these things of
I don't
there's a
believe that
worker
that's what's.
shortage.
Yeah.
People don't want to work anymore. The real thing, the real statistics when you look at it, people are only moving to jobs with livable wages because if you pay 15 above, you don't have a workers shortage. You actually have a surplus. People had to start firing people. It's those lower income jobs that are having struggles to find people that
But
actually want to
but
So
what
work.
happens when there's more money?
so I have
What
a
happens when there's
so I
more
have a
money?
question for you, Moon. Let's say I mean let's say like just hypothetical. You didn't have the chance to go to like you know like get a college degree and any type of like nothing related to the business that you're currently working on, right?
Which that's his situation.
That is my situation.
Okay, so like for instance, myself, you know, I've been hearing that like this you know I don't know if it's a concept, institution, or whatever. Like, great place to work. I think that's the name, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Top training companies like in the U.S. Top taking, you know. So if you're like actually working there and you don't have a college degree or any of that, so you're being struggling because like you're pretty much an operator everywhere you go, and there's this company saying like, okay, like I'm providing free, you know, training to like put your knowledge like up there, but it's non-paid, you know. So like how open are like I mean maybe this is a good example for you, like how open are you to actually sit down on a you know non-profitable training for you in a money wise. However, it's bringing a lot of value into your head as far as to prepare you for like other tasks, other responsibility, and probably something that you actually put on your resume that could actually help you get you know future positions, roles, and everywhere else because it's gonna bring you know like a huge set of options now.
And there are companies that do offer these things. I know Best Buy had a program where you could go to school for business and they would pay.
Yeah,
The
it's
majority
majority
of
of big
college.
companies will do that. Majority of
Um,
big companies will do
The
that.
current company I work for, they'll even pay for your schooling if you train in like
Yes,
if
they
you
do
wanted
that.
to do like software programming and they didn't have somebody, they would pay for your schooling as well.
So how open are you to actually get this type of training, certification, stuff like that? But yeah, like it's gonna be non-paid for you. It's just gonna be
I
there.
mean, I'm if it makes me more money, I'm all put it
But
in
it's not
there.
gonna make
Like,
you
I
money.
mean,
It's not gonna make you money like right now because you need to get the training. Probably the training is gonna be, I don't know, let's say 3 months. So you're putting an extra effort for those 3 months, going there,
yeah,
invest,
no,
investing money on transportation, whatever it is, time out of your family or whatever it is. Not getting a single dime out of that. Probably if you're married, getting a lot of shit from your wife, like, oh, well, why are you out of the house? And just not giving quality time for your family or me or whatever. But you're not thinking on the present. You're actually looking a little bit on the future. Like you're not seeing where your nose actually, leads you. Just a little bit step further, because you're seeing like down the road you can potentially become that manager that you always wanted to be, because you are making probably $10-15 an hour and this guy is making 25. So what's the difference between me making 15 and this guy making 25? Is this stupid training right here? But you need to do it, and probably you would like to do it. You just said it like, yeah, I would be open to that. But I don't think the majority of the people are actually open to that type of opportunity.
And I agree
but
with that.
we don't need the majority of people to be open to that. We need cogs in the system
Yeah,
that just crank and then move on.
I agree.
In this day and age, you make a better salary by leaving your job every 2 years.
That's correct.
Yes, you do.
That is correct.
Yes, you do. Because companies know that that's what's going to happen. So it's
Exactly.
almost pointless to raise it. And we
Yeah,
created,
like all the
we
companies are going
employees
to be increasing
created
you
that
at
situation.
2-3% like per
No,
year.
no, we did not create that.
Well,
We
It's
did
like
not create that. The
two
breakdown of unions created that.
2-3% increase
The breakdown
per
of
year.
worker
Good
rights.
for you. This is a 3% increase, and yet you have an inflation soaring at a fucking 8% per year.
Inflation's down. Inflation's down.
No, but I'm saying like right
It's the
versus
lowest it has
I'm,
been
I'm, I'm
in,
just
in
saying
a while
I'm just
yeah,
telling you
but the prices
hypothetically.
are still high.
I'm just telling
Prices
you
are still high,
hypothetically.
which wages
because
hasn't
of
caught up.
corporate greed.
Could you call it what you want to call it? When there's more money on the table, they're going to take more money.
They're gonna take money at the
Correct.
top is the problem.
Top or bottom, they're still going to take that money.
No, top because that's who gets all the money.
And that's
But
the
they're still going to take. So the money gets, bottom gets a little bit of a bump, and top gets a lot of the bump.
and
That's
this-
how the cookie crumbles.
and that's exactly what you wanna picture yourself at. The moment the easiest way for a big corporation to actually become a little bit more profitable, the easiest way, what is it, Jay?
The corporation to become a little bit more profitable, to either cut force or raise the price.
Cut force. That's it, bro. That's the first option. Like, listen, we have 25,000 people here.
Cut 5,000.
5,000 overnight. Boom. That's it. Because you're gonna save a lot like overnight. Like if you start increasing pricing and stuff like that, this is like on the long run. You gotta you gotta see.
They like to tell you that, right?
You gotta understand
Cut-
what's the
cut
elasticity
people,
of the
right?
price.
Because they can't fathom cutting their own paychecks, right?
No,
They're
of
Like
course
not.
you
not.
can't
They're
you
not.
you they're not going to cut that. So they'd rather cut the cogs
Correct.
Yeah.
and deal with the the struggle for a little bit so that they don't have to cut their bonuses.
Yeah.
That's it. Correct.
That's it. Like you're 100%.
But they
like,
made
correct.
it
That's
there. They made it there somehow. Whether they created the company, whether they had the right connection, somehow they made it there. So by them making there, it gives them these benefits. Whether we like it or don't like it, that's what happens. Like this is how it is now. Like it's would I want to downgrade
This
driving
is
my
how
car or
it
my house?
became. We have to look at American history, and the profit margin between the worker and the owner rose like together for the good bit until Reaganomics,
Bro,
and then
I-
broke
I used
to
to work,
where
I used to work for this like big company like one time. There was like roughly almost 400 employees. It was a big one, I mean, medium one in terms of size, right? So all of a sudden, yeah, like I was like part of the high executives there. So okay, so listen, we have a big problem. We need to cut 75% of the all the workforce, 75% overnight.
Jesus.
So, Yeah, we're gonna be the distribution is gonna be all set on the like I said with a third party.
Mhm.
So we don't need all the sales rep on the streets whatever because we're gonna be pretty much giving out that responsibility to some other company and we're just gonna pay a fee. We're gonna be saving a lot of money with that, but so like the sales force was actually the biggest part. So at that point, it was again 75% of the workforce
Yeah.
was there. They put in everybody, 100% of the employees into one room. It's like, okay, you guys, like,
Look to your right, to look to your left. Say
like, no,
goodbye to them.
no, no.
Say goodbye to the
Okay, you
two people
guys,
beside
oh,
you
yeah.
and the one over there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we need like all you guys that have like work phones and laptops and stuff like from your phone. Just put it on top of your table and like, right here, right here. So
Everyone
yeah,
in the company?
everyone. So the so the people that we're gonna be said like number one and number two. So if you have number one, go to room A. You have number two, go to room B. So we were separated in like different rooms. Obviously, you knew like because of the one
Less
and twos,
people.
like 75%. Like
Go to room 2.
So we say, okay, you guys, congratulations. You're still gonna be working here. So like, you just like wondering what was happening in the other room. But again, that's the only way for you to like become profitable like overnight.
Well, it's not only become profitable. I mean, there's a reason why they're doing that. They sat down and said, listen, we're giving a lot of jobs to these people. But then if we're going to continue making money and we're going to have to continue making more money, because that's the whole idea of a company. When you create a company is to make money. Like nobody wants to
Yeah.
work pro bono. So if I can make more money by creating a company, like that's what I'm going to do. This is the reason I created this company.
But my favorite example is Amazon, right? Amazon spent years bleeding money.
Yeah.
Did nothing but bleed money.
Yes.
It wasn't profitable until most recently when
Yeah,
they
they-
cornered the market with shipping.
Supposedly they were reinvesting everything back, but they were like
Yeah.
reporting like big losses.
And
Yeah.
this is
Big,
one of
big
the
losses.
reasons why they paid zero in taxes, because they were still writing off all those losses
Mhm.
that was carried over.
Well, no, he didn't care. He knew that this would become a necessity through
Yeah.
the internet age.
Yeah.
So that little bookstore that little online bookstore turned into an online book and toy store that then turned into a we'll just sell you anything. And then they beat out their competition with that which was established eBay because they branded better.
Yep.
Yeah, but
eBay was just a little better Craigslist, but
Can
they
you
added
blame it?
security with Amazon, and that's why they took over.
yeah, but he was a visionary. He knew what needed to be done, and he did it, and he became profitable. Now, can I blame him for running his company? He's got thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have their own thousands of opinion, but he's the one that's running this company. He's the one that made the company profitable. So who knows better what next decision to take than him, or approve what decision to approve for this company to progress? The guy that's working in an assembly line? Obviously not. It's a very low chance that the
But
guy
you
that's
don't-
working
you
in an
don't-
assembly
you don't
line
think- you
is
don't-
gonna.
You don't think that just this one person was able to do it all?
Well, no, obviously he has managers, but
Right.
then it all depended on him saying, "Listen, I'm giving you enough reins.
So
I
you think
understand
that
what you
all-
can
so
do."
whatever. So you think
Yeah,
that it's only him? He's just complete dictatorship.
No, it's
Also, Bezos stepped down from Amazon.
He did. He
back
did
in
step down.
21.
so no, it's
But
you
I-
have
but
to
I-
put
but-
the right people into place because you cannot control every decision.
But I can tell you, for you to be up there, it's all based on bold decisions. Bro.
Yes.
Nobody gets there, like, oh yeah,
Or connections.
or connections.
Well, whatever it is, you have to
Whatever.
have one or the other one.
But you gotta have like bold decisions. Like, yeah, we're gonna go this way. We're gonna be betting, like in the case of Amazon, like we're gonna be making a huge bet here. We're gonna be reporting losses. Like, what if this guy was just taking all those like millions of dollars like every year into his pocket, just being happy, and was not betting like on the future, on the actually seeing the big picture on what was going to be becoming this like huge company that we all know as Amazon now.
Yeah. So and that's why my point is that when an assembly worker comes in and says, "Well, I need to get paid more," like you have no idea. The reason I'm getting paid this is because of the decisions that I'm making. Because at the end of the day, that
You can't compare those.
that's
can't
that's what I'm
compare
trying
those.
to say. You cannot compare those. You cannot compare those two things. Because
The cost of labor is not comparable to total profits, right?
Well, no,
So
cost of labor is
yes,
part of the operational
they
cost.
an assembly liner might not know what it costs to make the whole company function,
Correct.
but that company is making excessive amounts of money in profit while still not paying livable wages to their
Yes,
employees.
but again, it's not it's worker's place to question this, but it is his also his place to accept this job or not. Like without you accepting the job,
Some people out there are working out of this. Actually, 60% is living paycheck to paycheck in America. So they're
correct.
not working out of they're working out of necessity because they don't want to be homeless.
I understand that. They're working out of necessity. They're working out of necessity because they don't want to be homeless, right? I get that. But this is who provides jobs. And if you're going to take the job with a company that's going to give you minimum wage, then they're going to give you minimum wage. And if you're looking for a job, if you're strapped for a job and you're looking to do that, great. Get the job, start making this minimum wage, but also look in the future. This is what I'm trying to say. People get in there and they say, you need to change this because I'm making a minimum wage.
But
They're
no one's
not going
saying
to.
that.
Well, I think
The economy is saying that people will move to more livable wages jobs. That's why we are seeing a
well,
decline in
obviously,
those minimum wage jobs, right?
obviously,
Yes.
people gonna want more money, so they're
So
gonna move to
the
that.
thing is, those companies that are paying more livable wages
Hmm.
are cutting into fractions, fractions of their profit
Okay.
to pay that, right? So if
Hmm.
fractions can pay that, how much is a little more fraction of profit to where it's actually a livable wage
And
gonna cost
I
you?
get what you're saying, but my point is this: if you know that's going on in your company, then find another company while you're working and making this fraction of the cost. Find another company that's gonna pay you better, or do extra shit that you progress enough in a company where you're making more money. This is
But
what I'm saying.
you're
Take
saying what's
initiative.
going on. You're saying what's going on. That's why you leave a job every 2 years, you get a better salary. That's why we're seeing the reduction in minimum wage job being able to retain employees
Correct. Minimum wage
because
jobs are
people
always a
are doing
turnaround.
this.
Yep, minimum wage jobs are always a turnaround. And again, minimum wage jobs are also very, very mundane and boring. So there's that as well. Like I,
Not necessarily. Minimum wage is just the legal amount that they don't have to pay you. You could do construction for minimum wage if you're
you can, but I don't.
not smart.
Unless you're undocumented immigrant, I don't think they're doing the
I
minimum
mean,
wage.
even that, right?
Yeah, minimum
Even
wage.
undocumented are getting paid less than we are legally allowed to pay American citizens.
No, I
So
get that. But what I'm trying to say, any construction job right now, if you're going to do a construction job, you're probably going to get paid $25 to $30 an hour.
no,
Majority of the contracts are. What do you mean no? That's what you're gonna get paid.
probably not.
Okay,
No.
well you're gonna get paid $20 an hour.
Probably 18, 20, yeah, maybe.
So $20 an hour was still more than the 15 minimum wage that everybody's pushing for.
Let me see.
So then we need to do more construction jobs, maybe. You know what I'm saying? The
Not
opportunity is
everyone's
there.
built for construction.
There you go. That's my point. So not everyone
Shit,
belongs.
I know some people are still making like 15.
So you're
an
saying
hour.
people
But
shouldn't
I'm
live
calculating like an 8-hour
minimal.
day.
No. What
People shouldn't be able to have a livable wage just because they do not have the certain amount of
I'm
skills.
not saying that. All I'm trying to say that throughout the history, whoever, like, you can look at this, if you're able to do the job, you did it. You weren't able to do the job, you did the job that you could. Like, there's a reason why back in the day, well, I think it's a multi-pronged issue, right? Like, back in the day, a janitor could support his family with his wife not
Because he
working.
had a union that was constantly working with the company, making sure that he had rights. Yes.
That, and also companies
No,
knew that
just
there's
that.
nah, there's companies knew that there's only one income and they can only take so much money.
No, literally just that. Because when that broke down,
No, it's
guess
not
what
just that.
happened? Guess what happened when that broke down? Worker exploitation. The minimum wage did not rise on its current
I'm not
rise that it
saying that
had been.
I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying that it's just part of the issue. The other part is when larger population of your society is starting to work and earn wages and pay taxes, which means your household income has more money now that can
No,
be
that has nothing
extracted.
to do with worker exploitation.
No, no,
That
that
has
doesn't.
nothing to do.
That doesn't have to. That has nothing to do with it. All I'm trying to say, there's another thing. It's not just one thing that did it. There's multiple things that did.
How
What,
did
I
you
thought
say
we
that has
talked about.
nothing to do with it, but also say that's another
I
thing?
thought we talked about how that was a byproduct over time.
what is?
that the company's exploiting the fact that there's two incomes.
No, I'm not saying the unions did. By unions not breaking up, that didn't happen. I'm saying that did happen with unions breaking up. But unions breaking up is not 100% the reason why this is happening. I'm saying that
So
there's an other part that we haven't even looked at yet. My
the
point
one
is,
thing that was keeping these companies in contractual agreements
Mhm.
with their employees
Mhm.
broke down, and then they started getting exploited. And you think there's more factors
Correct.
than
There's
the
more
union that was the one thing keeping workers having rights?
the union was one thing keeping workers having rights. I agree with that. Now, if your household brings in one, like we talked about a janitor, that only the janitor worked, his wife did not work. Correct. Correct.
Because he had a union that was able to keep
That's
his
fine.
job at
Now,
paying him a livable wage to be able to take care of his
now,
wife and child.
now his wife also is working. So it's a double income household. And what do the companies do then when they know there's more accessible money? What do? Raise the prices
Raise
on the products.
prices.
So there you go. So there's a multi-pronged issue. What I'm trying to say, unions did influence that, but it wasn't 100% influence. There's also
But
the
how
other
is
part.
this connected? How are you connecting corporate greed
Mm-hmm.
to union busting that is destroying workers' rights? Like, I can get how the destroying of unions made a bigger playing field for corporate greed, but it's still the one thing, the union, that was keeping that at bay when it came to paying employees a livable wage.
There we go. We're going in circles here.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say, the price, whether if the union did not break, the prices still would have went up if there are two people in a household working. The
Yeah,
prices would
prices-
still have gone up whether the union is there or not.
We're talking about worker rights.
No, the thing is yes, I would agree that
So what I'm trying to say,
prices
both
would rise, right?
influenced.
But that's
Yes.
the thing is prices would rise and those employees would be able to afford it, right? Unlike we see today where corporate greed has taken over to where even their own employees can't shop at Walmart without government assistance. Like,
Yeah.
and the reason that is, the sole reason is because corporations have moved to union busting so hard that we have no rights as workers in most states.
Okay, well, what you're saying, I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm agreeing with what you're saying. But I'm also saying that there's more to it than just unions busting. I'm not saying that didn't play a role. I'm agreeing with you. That did play a role, but I think there is more to it than just unions busting. I don't
You
think
think
in a world everything
when it
happens
comes
because
to
of one
workers'
thing.
rights, when it comes
When
to
it comes
workers'
to workers' rights, yes, I
in
agree.
America,
I agree with you.
okay,
When it comes to
well, that's what I
workers'
was
rights.
talking about.
There
But
we
you're
go.
trying to add on things on top. That's the problem. You're not creating a distinction between. You're saying this is also a part of. But that is a whole
Also,
economic side of it, not workers' rights.
That's what I
That's
said
what I'm
earlier.
trying to
There was a
say.
difference what you guys were
no,
trying to
but
talk
the
Right?
talk
bottom
about.
line is we're arguing non-livable wages, right? That the family does not have enough money.
And what was keeping those families having livable wages? Was it two incomes, or was it the unions keeping those contracts with the companies?
Okay, like I said, we're going in circles here, guys.
I think we are. I think we're
we
talking about
hit
the
the
same
2
thing.
hours. Let's. I think we can call it for today, boys. I appreciate Felix coming in, Alex joining us. Thank you guys to everybody who's in the chat. Let me get a quick shout out to everybody who came in the chat real quick. We had a few people come in today. Thank you, Calvin, for coming in. Herbert, Damaris, Arthur, Natalie, my dad, Jamie, Emily, Justin. Appreciate you guys coming in, joining us, and talking shit with us. And Jorge looks like he gave us a quick thing.
Get him a drink.
What
He
did
needs
you
a
give
drink.
us?
It's time
He wants
for a
drink.
shot.
Yeah.
What did you give us?
I agree. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Episode 54, another one for the books. Thank you, Felix, again for coming in, brother. I appreciate
For
it.
the invitation. It's certainly a pleasure.